Melbourne. So they came to an absolute halt, the Gold Coast Suns. Damien Hardwick will be fuming. Alistair Clark will be celebrating, because you look at the last quarter, Wardlaw, 13 possessions. O'Sullivan, 12 possessions. Sheasel, 8 possessions. That's North Melbourne's future right there in those three names. They've come up big in the last quarter. They've had 7 clearances between those three boys in the last quarter. So just outstanding. Of those 7, 3 of them were from centre bounce. Sheasel had 2 of them. That's what you love to see. Like Sonia Hood spoke about, well, the potential tag's out the window now. That's when you start to turn your season, next season's around, and you go, okay, North Melbourne the real deal. Benny spoke about who North Melbourne had knocked off at half-time. They hadn't got a scalp. This is a scalp. This is a big scalp for the football club that should give them enormous confidence.
That is a day at the footy that reminds you why you love it. Alistair Clarkson was being saluted as he made his way down. They are hugging their coaching staff at the moment. It's a big slip up for the Gold Coast Suns. They've been left wanting again in the period of the year that their own coach has labelled Big Boy Month, and he will be furious.
The Darwin hangover again.
Darwin hangover.
So they've now lost 3 out of 4 post-Darwin in the last 4 years. You extend it out further. So over the last 4 years, they've also lost 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah. So it just keeps happening unbelievably. Luke Ball, whether he makes it, that'll be an interesting one. We'll keep you across that in the next game. Scott Pendlebury's record-breaking 433rd game is coming up in a moment. Michael from Ballarat says, what a call, what a back six. He texted in at half-time about the back six of the Kangas.
Colvin had a huge second half, didn't he?
Yeah. Kangas fans, we will play you the song in the half-time break of the Scott Pendlebury match, so you won't miss out on all of that. Rama, very quickly, the votes before we send everyone or most people off to the MCG.
I gave 1 to Matt Rowell. I gave 2 to Finn O'Sullivan. I thought he was enormous in that last quarter, and I gave 3 to Luke Davies-Uniacke.
That massive goal from LDU. Second last goal, which drew scores level, and then Zerha. Do you keep him back? Do you keep him as a swingman? Who knows?
Well, I think you got to. Yeah. I think you've absolutely got to. So, but look,
what a belief booster for them.
It's got enormous, and it wasn't their older players. LDU was terrific for them all day, but it wasn't Simpkin really in that last quarter. It was Sheasel, O'Sullivan, and Wardlaw. Their attack of that centre corridor in the last quarter was terrific, Benny. So
they get to 5-6 on the season. Incredible for North Melbourne. We'll have a lot of the wrap-up for those of you in the ACT or on the Gold Coast. But for everyone else, you're about to head to the record-breaking game. 4-3-3 for Scott Pendlebury. We have got the perfect commentary team for it. Mick Malthouse, his first coach, the coaching games record holder. Brent Harvey, the soon-to-be-passed games record holder, handing over the baton. Corbin Middlemass, Lauren Borden to call the action, and a man who shared the ground with him as an umpire, Ray Chamberlain, all there and ready to go. From Docklands, an incredible day for North Melbourne. We're sending a lot of you off to the record-breaking game.
Get your documentary fix on ABC iView.
We have an industry that's just running riot.
Like Sean McAuliffe's Going for Broke.
Last win, come on.
Todd Sampson's Why.
The best things in life are on the other side of fear.
And more. Streaming now on ABC iView.
Sir Doug Nicholls Round on ABC Sport.
I was born with the ice and fire running through my veins. Television with no end in sight. All gas, no brakes.
Grundy pumps it down to Stevenson, away to Pendlebury. He gained 300. Of course he did. And the class of Pendlebury with all the time and space to capitalise on the moment.
This is what I was waiting for.
No, I was expecting to go between the 15 and 30 bracket around there, and to be called out number 5 was just awesome. Just felt so good, and I got the call up from Eddie Maguire, which was good too. So it was good.
What sort of football are we going to look at?
Hopefully, I've been compared to D'Alessandro, so I know anything even half as good as he is, and I'd be very happy.
Here comes the
Number 10, Scott Pendlebury.
And the winner of the Norm Smith Medal of 2010 is Scott Pendlebury from Collingwood.
Our boys, this is the best feeling I've ever had. Let's hope there's a few more to come.
The go, he gathers it. Pendlebury, room to step, steady, and finish. Class shows. And Pendlebury goals.
Uses Pendlebury, who can race through half forward from 48, heads towards the goal line, and it's shepherded through in game 350. He's a legend of the footy club.
Number 10, Scott Pendlebury.
He's now a two-timer, breaks a record along with Steele Sidebottom, 13 years between premierships.
And the winner of the Anzac Day medal for the 4th time is Scott Pendlebury.
The ageless one, Pendlebury, a phenom, pops it through. He's second of the day, and it's the biggest day he's ever had. 43 disposals after 431 games.
Scott Pendlebury, game 432 from right in front. He's got it.
Speaking of Boomer last week when he came into the club, just all those guys like champions of the game, probably sits uncomfortably with me that, you're on that level with those sort of guys and just absolute legends. Because I think all of us at one stage was that kid in the stand that used to come and watch these guys, and we're all little kids inside that just love the game, and I'm so fortunate to have played for as long as I have.
Just take one look around. This train ain't slowing down. I'll make sure that the road knows. Here comes the glory. Here comes the glory.
Welcome to history, a day to remember at the MCG as Scott Pendlebury becomes just the 4th man in 46 years to break the game's record. Game number 433 and counting for Collingwood's number 10. A short time ago, he was out there getting loose with the rest of his teammates, moving with the usual composure and professionalism of a guy that's done it 432 times before. And today he'll play his record-breaking game. He may reset the record multiple times over the weeks and the months and the years perhaps to come, but he only breaks the record once, and we're lucky enough to be here to witness it this afternoon at the MCG. Along with over 80,000 people, the ground is already humming. It feels like grand final day. The lines to get in the members before it started were enormous on what is a truly historic afternoon for football. What a joy to be here, always on ABC Sport, but particularly on days like this at this famed sporting arena. The Collingwood banner is enormous to match the occasion. It is laid down on the turf at the moment at about centre half forward at the city end of the ground, and there is a guard of honour, members of his current squad, the Collingwood players out there. There's family, friends, fans. There's also going to be a whole lot of his previous teammates that are going to join him. He has played with 176 different players across the course of his career, including our own Luke Ball, who's made the mad dash across town to be here. We got the perfect commentary team assembled. Brent Harvey and Mick Malthouse. You'll hear from both of them in just a moment. Ray Chamberlain on the boundary line. My name's Corbin Middlemass, and I'm pleased to say Lauren Borden's here to call the footy with me. Loz, what an afternoon to be here.
Oh, Corbin, it's incredible, especially looking out around the ground now. It's mostly black and white. There's a lot of fans that have come in, and 433. I think it's worth saying out loud for everyone at home that's listening. That's when you really realise how many games that is. 4 plus 3 plus 3, Corbin, equals 10. That's the number that's going to be in gold on the back of his jumper as well today. And for all the intents and purposes, it might have been manufactured to be here at the MCG today, but it feels right. It feels right that we're here for Scott Pendlebury's record-breaking game, where this will be his 274th match at this venue, it's a career in itself at one venue. It's just incredible to be here.
It's where it all started all those years ago, and the man who was his senior coach that day. And for much of his career, Scott Pendlebury's only ever had 3 full-time senior coaches. He had Robert Harvey as a caretaker for a handful of games, but it's been Craig McRae, his current coach. It's been Nathan Buckley, and it's been the man who coached more games than anyone else in the history of VFL, AFL football, the coaching icon, Mick Malthouse. We're so lucky to have with us all the time on ABC Sport, and again on such a special day. Mick, welcome. What an event, what a day to be here.
Oh, fantastic, Corby. Better than that, because I've been lucky enough to be invited to the Collingwood President's Lunch, and on the table, outside the fact that there was so many players in there that I'd coached or know, as in Benny Johnson and Brian. I played with Brian, of course, Brian Taylor, Daisy Thomas. But on the table itself, I looked around and I thought, okay, where are we sitting? And Nanette sat down, I sat down next to Michael Tuck's wife. First time I met her, there's Michael Tuck. Next to him was Sean Burgoyne and his wife. Opposite me is Boomer. And you think, wow. And then Dusty Fletcher. And the only bloke that was missing was Kevin Bartlett. And I think Kevin had something else on. So all the record holders are there outside of Scott, who's now still playing. But an aside, I've got to tell you this story. So a lot of the blokes I've coached maybe one game because they would have been part of a state side or an Australian side. Boomer, coached him. Dusty, coached him. And Dustin Fletcher I'm talking about. So Dustin Fletcher, Collingwood playing Essendon one day and they were doing their warm-up. And he ran past and he was stern as you could get. And I said to him, come on, you can give me a smile. And he sort of half smiled. On the way back, a big smile came out. And tonight I said, oh, yeah, you're going, Dusty. Yeah, great. He said, I said, well, you would have been still have to play next year if you hadn't been suspended so many times. He said, you know what? He said, I worked it out. With the injuries and suspensions, I would have played 517 games. And I said, well, you didn't. And most of those suspensions should have been doubled. He agreed. So just that, when you look back and you can actually now have a giggle over things, because football is serious. But when you sit at a table like that, Sean Burgoyne, honestly, if he couldn't play now, he's one of the very few players I've ever put two players on.
Wow.
Oh, he was murdering us at stoppages. And I said, no, I'm over this. You boys can't do it. I've played X, Y and Z on you. No, bugger you. I'm putting two players on you. So two players went on him. I only did it once before. Anyway, he said, I remember you because, I end up with two players almost holding me down. Well, we know Boom, and Boomer's the other one. When Boomer, the old days when you able to kick it to yourself and run off, you had to kick it to yourself first up. Well, he's terrorised us. I end up saying, no, I'm over this. We're going to put two players on the mark, one on either side of the square. Now take us on, Boomer.
Would you tag Scott Pendlebury today if you're Andrew
I
Bolton?
would tag him 100 miles, and I'd tag him for his breakfast.
Jeez, you're a party pooper as an opposition
I am a party
coach.
pooper. I just think that you've just got to cut the head off a snake before it gets, before it bites you. So
that's what the West Coast Eagles are looking to do today. So their Woolwich Malawa, which is their Marawa, which is their name for Sir Doug Nicholls round. So we'll refer to them as that on occasions throughout the afternoon. But I mentioned it this morning on AFL Saturday. They're like the other team in your favourite sports movie. That they're here to essentially play the role of the guys that are playing against the lead character who's on his way to the MCG today to try and have a memorable day in front of what is going to be an enormous crowd. The Magpie Army have showed up in force, and this is well on its way for over 80,000.
What they're saying, by the way, if I can just say that we had Barry Karp speak at the President's Luncheon, clearly, and the MCC informed him that they anticipate there'd be 93,000 people. Now, they were slightly out last night. In fact, it went up. As we know, it was 75, went to 78. They're saying on numbers and the way the crowd is, it's 93,000, which is, and then Don Pike came over to me, who was the CEO of the West Coast, and he said, and I've already written an article saying this is the test for West Coast to see how they, on the big stage, and he said, this would be the biggest home and away crowd that we've ever played against and with. So records will be broken today.
The West Coast Eagles banner's just gone up. They're not too far away from making their way out. Just repeating, there's no late change here. So no late change between the Pies and the Eagles. So they come in as selected. The Eagles made one change at selection with Beau Allen taking the place of the injured Jack Hutchinson. Meanwhile, for Collingwood, they get stronger and more experienced. So more the guy named Pendlebury, Lipinski and Cameron are the four inclusions. Buller, Parker, Anderson and Steele are the four guys that go out. The first three omitted, and of course Oscar Steen is injured, so he's not playing this afternoon. It pits the oldest and the most experienced team in the competition this year on average up against the youngest and the least experienced. So it's a fascinating dichotomy that there's not a single teenager in the Collingwood team. Their youngest player is Will Hayes at 20. Meanwhile, West Coast have 3 teenagers out there, including the number 1 pick, Willem Dersma. As we spoke about this morning, Mick, they will have 9 guys playing at the MCG for the first time. So forget the fact that that they're here, period, just to play a game of AFL footy. They're here on a day where the place is going to be heaving, and there's going to be 93,000 people supporting the other team.
Well, it's a Coliseum. I remember to the day when I arrived at West Coast in 1990, and we and I was West Coast then. We were informed, or I was informed, that no Western Australian side had ever won at the MCG. Both state, WA side, junior side, had ever won. That's over 100 years.
Yeah.
And I called it the Coliseum purposely so that the players would say, well, okay, I've got to respond to this, what the coach wants, or we... And I've got to say there were some casualties on the way because some players lap it up, other players really plunge into a depression of some sort because they just can't cope with that. And this will be a great test for West Coast to see those 9 players for a start off and others, how they handle 90-odd thousand people.
Crashing the party on Pies territory. Wallich Mara was here to steal the story, is what the banner reads. Not sure it rhymes the whole way through, but I'm here for it. They've got their Indigenous jumper on today, and Harley Reid runs out for the 50th time at AFL level, the number 1 pick from a few seasons back now, with the most famous number in the history of the club on his back, the number 9. Willem Dersma playing at the MCG for the first time. It's the first time that the club's actually played here since round 9 last year against Richmond. That was the chase down tackle, Tom Brown on Tom Gross late in the piece, in which Richmond hung on to win by 2 points. It was their only trip to the MCG last year. They're few and far between any time for a club based in WA, but particularly when you're towards the foot of the table. So you've got to make the most of these opportunities when they roll around. Have you been impressed with the Eagles this year? They're a 3-win team. They've still had some big, heavy defeats, but it feels like on the back of winning 2 games last year, they're ahead of schedule from where we thought they would be after 10 rounds.
Yeah, look, probably marginally. And I only say marginally, Corby, because I'm a big one on percentage. Percentages give you an idea of how you've gone over the course of those, in this case, 10 games. I think you need to play 4 or 5 games before that percentage kicks in. And when you analyse, say, Port Adelaide, for instance, they're one of the very few clubs outside the top echelon that have got a percentage over 100, and because they've lost 4 games under 3 points or something like that, West Coast, when you look at their percentage, it is clearly second last, and rightfully, because they've been belted. Now, this is the time that it could happen. It could happen, and this will be the test to say it shouldn't happen.
No late change ahead of Collingwood and the West Coast Eagles, which is our broadcast game in a few moments. While you're in the function, Mick, North Melbourne came from 43 down to beat the Gold Coast Suns by 6. As Cam Zurhaar kicked a goal after the siren to give North the victory there. There's another game on in the same time slot. It is Geelong up against Sydney. You can find that call streamed through ABC Listen. Some breaking news coming through, which we're waiting for confirmation of this. We may see it when the team makes their way out in a few moments. The Guard of Honour is not only stretching out to the 50-metre line, made up of friends and family and fans and his current squad members and teammates, but also his previous teammates, and that Guard of Honour runs all the way down the players' race. The big wide race at the change rooms closest to the goals at the Ponsford stand end of the ground. And then the 4 men that happen to be standing there, first one's to greet Scott Pendlebury. He's got the warm-up top on. He shakes hands with Dustin Fletcher, then Michael Tuck, then our man Brent Harvey, and then Sean Burgoyne as he is about to make his way out onto the ground for the 433rd time. Here come the Magpies. Incredibly, a walk that he's done so often, Scott Pendlebury, across the course of his career. His 227th game in front of a crowd of over 50,000.
Notice he hasn't got the jumper on yet, where they're down the race when they come out to play, I guess.
There's the roar. And Scott Pendlebury walks over the white line, rips off the warm-up top with the gold number 10 on his back. His 2 kids in Darcy and Jack meet him at the top of the race. And Scott Pendlebury runs out onto the MCG for game number 433. He goes where no player has gone before in the history of the game. And the breaking news is that not just Scott Pendlebury has got the golden number 10, that all of his teammates are wearing golden numbers for the milestone game. So Collingwood with a special exemption to the jumper to make sure that all 23 members will be wearing golden numbers. As Pendlebury bursts through the banner for the 433rd time in his career. And the game's record holder is 15 minutes away from holding the record outright. Collingwood with no late change. And Scott Pendlebury, the ultimate conductor of the orchestra, out there again at AFL level. The 333rd time, would you believe, he's done it with steel side bottom alone. So played so much of his career with his great mate, the golden number 10, running out there at the moment and dapping it up with his teammates. What a moment in the history of the game.
Yeah, well, when you just said steel side bottom, we call him a young man. Today's football, it's still relatively young, particularly if you're getting around okay. And he's getting around still probably in the top 15 at the club. Scott Pendlebury himself would be in the top. I think he's rated number 20 in the competition. So I think you said that this morning in our show. So who's to say that Sidebottom could be next to break the 400? I don't think he'll go past Scott, but 400.
No late change. We're about 15 minutes away from the start. Ray Chamberlain's down there on the boundary's edge. He's got a very special guest with him, Razor.
G'day, Corb. Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have the previous game's record holder and all-time great bloke in Boomer Harvey. You'll be joining us today, obviously. Brent, talk us through. You've got a very unique perspective on this, mate. Give us your gut instincts.
Oh, I have. What's the official time? When does it click over? Am I still the game record holder?
As far as I'm concerned, mate, if the bounce hasn't gone down, you're still the game's record holder.
Okay, so that's good. No, look, this is unbelievable. The Collingwood Football Club need to take some credit here. I know they get smashed by everybody that doesn't barrack for them, but they've just put on an unbelievable week or a fortnight for Scott, and it's thoroughly deserved, clearly. What it's done for me, Razor, is because I did this, you don't talk about it because it's you. So you don't, and the week is so consuming with everything. What I can say right now, because it's not me, it's Scott Pendlebury, what a bloody effort. And that's made me reflect on my career in the last week, probably more than I ever have in my whole career.
I was talking to my daughter today, Boomer. It's so funny you say that. And she said, Dad, what does it mean or what does it represent? Which I thought was an intriguing question from a 16-year-old who couldn't care less about footy. Yeah. And I said, mate, it's excellence and endurance. Is that a fair statement?
It certainly is. And the Collingwood president just spoke about that upstairs at the function, and he said exactly that. It's an endurance event, and you're the greatest at that. So it's a fantastic. The good part about it is he's still playing some good footy, isn't he?
Mate, taking a look at you could still be playing some good footy. Corb, Mick, what have you got for Brent?
Boomer, the day itself, so the record-breaking day, when you played, you had a custom jumper as well with 427 across the stripes of the Kangaroos jumper from memory. For someone that's done it so many times before, so he's got 432 games worth of muscle memory as to how to prepare, but it's not just any other game. It is a different day and a different game. How easy or difficult is it to compartmentalise and realise that, hey, there's a game of footy starting, tackle football, a brutal sport that starts in 15 minutes and all the rest of it's great, but I've got a job to do.
Right now, he'll be as good as gold. This is muscle memory, Corbin. He'll be in his routine right now. I'm just watching him doing his midfield stuff. Right now, this is a good part because it is so time-consuming, even morning of, and he would have had some press he would have had to do of some sort this morning. The biggest thing, because it was so big, I was looking forward to running out with my children through the banner, getting that out of the way, and then the most important thing was putting my arms around my teammates and singing the song. Now, I know that's another couple of hours away, but right now, he will be in his zone. His footy zone that he's done 432 times, like he just mentioned.
What's the most common question you've had, Boomer, in the last couple of weeks in the lead up to the milestone?
Do you want me to go and run Scott Pendlebury over? and that's by about 85-year-old ladies at the supermarket. So I tried to stay out of the supermarket this week just because of those questions. But you know what? It's been good. I've spoken about it so much, but it's just an amazing effort. And you look around now, looking at the crowd. 97, I think they're going to have 95,000 or something like that here today. And again, very, very well deserved. I just hope that the Pies can do him justice and play like he has done for so many games.
The 400 Club's so special. There's only 6 of you, and it's awesome the way that the league brings you all together as much as they can for photo opportunities, and to have you all there in one place is a special thing for the game. Do you look around at the other 5 and think we've all got something in common? I mean, we do it from afar, clearly, as media observers. What is it to you, do you think, that the 6 of you have as a shared trait?
Well, I'll tell you what we are sharing, and that's 21 premierships. Wow. And I'm really happy with that because I only won 1. So I'll take the other 20. I think Tucky might have 7 of them, by the way. Look, I think, and this question is been silly before, but this is the question that probably pops up the most. What's the common theme between us? There's clearly luck. But I'm tipping, and not so much maybe KB, because he used to eat fish and chips the night before a game, and Cabe and Tucky. But Scott obviously prepares really well. I thought I prepared as good as anyone, and I know Fletch, even though you don't think that, he did prepare super well. You need a little bit of luck. You need a lot of finals, clearly. And, you know, I don't know, maybe the luck comes with some family genes as well.
Boomer, just on that finals, I was intrigued, and I've still to find out the exact number. How many finals did you play? And I'm going to ask the same thing about Scott Pendlebury. I think someone said about 40 with Scott Pendlebury.
Yeah, I think 31 and 5 grand finals.
Oh, okay. So how many finals did you play, Boomer?
Mick, you might have to wait 15 minutes till I get back up there and I Google it, because I actually don't know. I apologise for that. That's a stat I probably should know.
So is it 10, 15?
No, I'd be pretty close to 20, I would have thought.
Yeah.
When I first got to the footy club, we played in 7 prelims in a row.
So it's a lot
of footy.
Yeah, so it's about a season.
Yeah, and it would be a season.
So I reckon if you put that onto, say, Dustin Fletcher would be around about a season of finals. He
won 2 flags. So
Burgoyne certainly, both Hawthorn and Port, a lot of finals.
Yep.
You're a lot of finals. Scotty, we know, is a lot of finals. So if I was to say what was the most important or the best game you, not that you played the best football, but the best game you played in, tell me.
The best game that it's an easy one. I won a premiership in 99.
Right.
And we lost it in 98. I never thought I'd get a chance to win one. And I was only young. I was only 20 in 98, 21 in 99. But I was so lucky to win a premiership. And halfway through that last quarter, I was thrilled that we were going to win that game. So that's easily the most memorable game.
Are you tossing the coin, Boomer?
I am. Not too many people know that, but I am, mate. So we'll do that in a couple of minutes, I think.
So it'll be a beautiful moment and a nice handing of the baton, I'm sure, from one games record holder to the next.
And I look forward to getting up there with you boys.
Heads or tails, Boomer?
It's neither today. It's a number 10 or an SP, I think it is. So, yeah, I'll leave that one to them.
We'll see you up here soon, Boomer.
Beautiful. See you guys.
And Brent Harvey, the man who's played more games than anyone else in the history of VFL, AFL football, not named Scott Pendlebury, is going to be up here alongside you shortly.
You know, almost to a man that you speak to about their successes, they all say, I want to play finals. And if I'm playing finals, I want to win a premiership. So Boomer's it's been perfect. He answers the question. That's the most important game of his life.
It's amazing. That's what they've all got in common. The 6 that have played the 400 games. Let's kick it down to Uncle Colin Hunter for the Welcome to Country.
I'd like to start by acknowledging that this afternoon we are meeting on the lands of my ancestors, the Wurundjeri people. And I'd like to take this opportunity to pay my respects to my elders, both past, present and emerging, elders from all nations. But I particularly want to pay my respects to everyone gathered here this afternoon. But I always like to acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us. I'd like to acknowledge and pay my respects to them also. But today I've got a couple of special acknowledgements. I want to acknowledge Uncle Doug Nichols and his family and pay my respects to them. But also I want to acknowledge and congratulate Scott Pendlebury on breaking the AFL Games record today. Woomajeka welcome. Wurundjeri Balik, Yimikundi Bik. The Wurundjeri people welcome everyone to land today. Wurundjeri no, Bunambor War, Kondi Nagnak Duban Bik Bolik Bor Tilikan. The Wurundjeri people want to look after and protect the land as they did long before. Wurundjeri country extends from the inner city of Melbourne. It goes across the mountain to the Great Dividing Range, west to the Werribee River, south to the Mordialloc Creek and east to Mount Borbor. And the Wurundjeri people are part of the Kulin Nation and of the Walrong language group. And while you're on Wurundjeri country, you're welcome to the traditional lands and the waterways of the Wurundjeri people. So, Woman Jack, welcome. Enjoy the game. Thank you.
Welcome to Country comes to an end from Uncle Colin Hunter, and now the exchange of gifts. Tim Kelly makes his way towards Darcy Moore, the captain of Collingwood, as they embrace and exchange the gifts, which is obviously customary on this weekend. Also there is Malachi Champion, who is a First Nations footballer, and Liam Baker, the captain of the West Coast Eagles, follows his two teammates to that exchange. So the two teams, after staring at one another across the centre wing in the Welcome to Country ceremony, they disperse. The Collingwood players run towards the city end of the ground with those gold numbers that stand out on their back. The West Coast Eagles, obviously ordinarily in the yellow jumpers, wearing their First Nations jumper, which has the big striking gold eagle in the middle of the strip. And there with the predominantly blue backdrop with the yellow numbers and the white shorts. The Collingwood Magpies in their home jumper, all in black with the white stripes. And then it's not yellow numbering, is it, Loz? It's proper gold.
It is real gold. It looks very striking when you see a bunch of them wearing those colours. And I quite like it. If maybe Scott Pendlebury didn't feel comfortable with the 10 on his jumper by himself being in gold, I quite like that the whole team's got it on there. And I think that's a jumper that every teammate standing alongside Scott Pendlebury in game 433 will be hanging on to.
So just on the numbers, you mentioned off the top, 433. They're a great numerical stat, fate, whatever it is, to think that he gets to the milestone 433, and you add those all together, it comes up to 10, of course, which Scott Pendlebury has worn for the lion's share of his career. At the 10-minute mark, there will be a round of applause. There's been these cardboard signs that have been handed out, SP 433, which I'm sure you'll see waved throughout the afternoon. This is incredibly a career which includes 2 premierships, Norm Smith medal, 5 best and fairest, 6 All-Australians. He was the Coaches Association Player of the Year in 2013. He's a 2-time Players Association Best Captain. Over 200 games as captain. He's one of only 7 players in the history of the game to have done that. He's the quickest to 400. He's played in front of 23 million fans, the only player to have played in front of over 20 million, so 3 million more than any other player. 227 games of a crowd of over 50,000 out of his 433. He's played against 16 players that were born after his debut. He's played against 6 players, father-son pairings. So not just the father, but also the son across the course of his career. The Darcys, the Wests, the Burgoynes, the Davies, the Edwards and the Motlops. He's had 176 different teammates, and each of their names are listed on the Collingwood jumper today. He's played over 100 games with 31 of them. Incredibly, 332 games with Steele Sidebottom, 240 with Jack Crisp, 215 with Braden Maynard. Just some of those names. And if you need any more historical significance as to just what a moment this is, Mick, we touched on it this morning. Charlie Panham was the first to 100 games in 1902. The game's record has fallen only 13 times since. It's been held by the likes of McHale and Coventry, Dyer, Reynolds, Whitten, Nichols, Murray.
Great players.
All the greats of Australian rules football. And then in more recent times, KB went through it, Kevin Bartlett in the 1980 final series. Then Michael Tuck 10 years later. He held it for 26 years until Boomer did it, who's about to toss the coin in the middle of the MCG. And the ceremonial passing of the baton over to Scott Pendlebury. The West Coast Eagles spoil the first party of the day. They win the coin toss, and Liam Baker points to the punt road end of the ground. And now 10 years on from Boomer, the record falls for just the 4th time in the last 46 years.
And there's only one person out there today that'll be part of AFL longer than Scotty Pendlebury.
And that is?
Ian Burrows. You know who he is?
I do.
The boundary umpire. 450.
You might have just stolen the thunder of our man Ray Chamberlain. He was working on his gags all day about giving a little hat tip to Ian Burrows. Ray Chamberlain in the front row of the grandstand, the best in the business.
Oh, good to get him.
G'day, Razor.
G'day, guys. Mick, not the first time Mick stole my thunder. Fair enough, too, though. What an incredible start to today. It is absolutely... Walked over from Domain, and it's like a final today, the vibe outside and back inside the ground. I can't wait to see these guys go about the show today, and importantly, Scotty Pendlebury. I mean, Mick, I got the pleasure of umpiring Scott a few times. He rarely said a word. He was so in focus on his own business, you know. And what a champion! And I couldn't think of a better person to break Boomer's record today.
No, and it's not. You know, I think Boomer said there's a lot of luck involved. Yes, there is. But I think a lot of people make your own luck. Boomer made his own luck because he was hard, he ran hard, he trained hard. Pendlebury's the same. It's interesting, Kelly, I don't know whether Kelly's going to him or he will lean on Kelly. It's interesting about Kelly. Kelly is the leading inside 50s, I think, and he hasn't played every game.
We're ready to go. Collingwood and the West Coast Eagles on a Saturday afternoon in round 11, but it's much more than that. Scott Pendlebury goes where no player has gone before. Game 4-3-3. History has a new benchmark on ABC Sport. You're with Lauren Borden.
Well, that was a good bit of play there. You can just see Williams ruck beautifully, hit it straight to Reid, I think, and then he was grabbed, anticipated.
So with the ball up, Pendlebury's officially played more games than anyone else. It's a West Coast clearance, though, by a Reid across to Marrick, who kicks it out to left half forward. Cole will mark for the Eagles. Pumps it inside forward 50 to the top of the goal square. Will almost be taken by Bailey Williams. He drops it at the final second. Yo's in there, can weave around 3 Collingwood defenders. Just skies the footy. It'll land in a hot spot inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Champion will have a go at it. Tries to barge through all the Collingwood players with gold on the back of their number. He can't. And it's a free kick to the Pies, and to Dan Houston, who in all of that is playing his 200th game.
Well, shout out to him. It's certainly a milestone that's in the shade somewhat. Gives it to Nick Dacos. Kicks out to half-back. Quaynor links up with Degoe. Pokes his kick down the wing. It's intercepted, and Duggan picks it off for the Eagles. Goes laterally to Willem Dersma. His first game on the MCG today. One of 9 Eagles doing that. Goes short to Kelly.
Well, he's a good player, Dersma. He's going to be a really good player.
Overcast skies, floodlights on, yellow Sharon out. Kelly goes long, straight down the pipe, offhand, spills out the back of the pack. Elliott Yeo kicks the first goal of the game. And the West Coast Eagles, it took them just a minute and a half, and they're on the board first. And it's a guy that's haunted the Magpies in the past. The Eagles' best and fairest winner from 2018. And Elliott Yeo kicks the first of the day. Wallich Marawa, the West Coast Eagles, 1 straight 6. They lead Collingwood yet to score. Mick Malthouse soon to be joined by Brent Harvey. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, Collingwood will not like what they've just seen. There was 4 Eagle players from 10 metre square out to the goal line and not one Collingwood player. They all got drawn into that ball. They only needed probably Howe and I would say Darcy Moore. The others should have stayed down. They were very eager to get up in the air, but they paid a penalty, real penalty.
So the Eagles strike first, early stages of this match. It's tossed back up in the middle. Darcy Cameron takes it for the Pies. Hand pass to Nick Dacos, who's streaming all the way to centre half forward. Darts the kick inside 50, and Schultz is on the end of it. He marks and will have a set shot at goal for the Pies, about 45 metres out, slightly tougher than a 45-degree angle.
The little champ's just returned from the boundary. He's up behind us. Second place now. That siren started. You're into second place, Boomer.
Work that out there, will you? Second now.
It's a nice welcome, Mick, from you to welcome Brent Harvey into the box.
He understands me.
Yeah, sorry. I just got that. I forgot to press my button. I must be nervous.
It's Lockie Schultz lining up for the immediate reply for the Pies. He slams it into the left goalpost. And it's just a behind for Collingwood. They trail West Coast by 5 points, early stages of this record-breaking match at the MCG.
Was it Pendlebury's head or the number 10? Which way did it come down?
It went at number 10.
Number 10?
Yes.
Pendles, I take it, called his own head?
No, Liam, the away team calls.
The away team calls, gotcha. So Baker called the right side. Collingwood jumper and the number 10. The Eagles have got the first goal too as Tim Kelly's hand pass picked off on the wing. Cameron for Collingwood. Handball away to Crisp and then to Pendlebury. His first touch, a handball inside to Josh Dacos. Gives it away to Crisp. Crisp kicks straight down the pipe to full forward. Punched away from the Collingwood would-be target. Spills to Marrick. Tackled by Nick Dacos. Got it out to Jimby. Jimby's hand pass to half-back for Baker. Short kick to Joe Shanahan, who takes the mark at left half-back. He's got it here for the West Coast Eagles. So a 5-point lead for the visitors. We're 4 minutes in.
First goal from Elliott Yeo. Shanahan just dabs it forward towards Marrick.
Going to be a good player, Shanahan. He's going to be a genuinely good, one of those young forwards that's got terrific mobility.
Signed on to 2028, Joe Shanahan with the Eagles out of Moama.
Yeah, I know where they'd like to have him. Up to 38 because he is a serious player.
Merrick shares it across to Davis, who kicks it to Young, and he'll flare it all the way out to the great southern stand side of the ground. Duggan takes it. Just a short 15-metre kick to Baker, who marks. Had Houston hot on his tails, but can hold on to the mark. And then put the kick inside forward 50, more front position, bashes it away in his return game. Gets it close to the boundary line. Davis will pick it up for the Eagles. Hand pass to Murdoch. Hand pass across to Reid. Pendlebury knocks Reid over the boundary line. The ball goes over it. There'll be a throw-in, and there's a little bit of a push and shove as well on the outer side of the ground. And some cheers from that great southern stand for Scott Pendlebury.
Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Boundary throw-in. Trying to grab it out of the ruck. Williams slips through his hands, taken by Chris. He's upended in the tackle, holding the ball.
Yeah, good tackles by the Eagles. They're right on the Eagles. Collingwood will get up to play some really good football early to quell this enthusiasm. There's a good run.
Free kick for Champion, the tackler. He kicks to full forward for West Coast. They come from all directions. Big fly at the back from Shanahan. Pack forms at the feet of all of them. And in the end, the umpire says, I'll have it. A ball up. Ray Chamberlain on the boundary.
You know, you quite rightfully called Scott Pendlebury's first well-weighted handball. His first involvement was a big don't argue from Harley Reid. No love lost there. They're going straight after the champ.
Thanks, Ray. Toss back in, deep inside forward 50 for West Coast. Cole's brought to ground, holding the footy. Free kick to Collingwood in defensive 50.
Oh, he's stiff.
And Howe has absolutely ripped him down to the turf as well.
He was really, I don't know, that's an ordinary free kick that. He just took possession and then got grabbed. I hardly think that's a free kick.
Just scanning the ground, Mick, doesn't look like there's too many run with rolls, and Dacos playing more forward than mid at the minute.
Well, that's where what they do is make a five-man forward line by bringing him up the ground, and his back one player plays off him, so he doesn't really attract anyone unless they're prepared for a midfielder to drop back on him, which then frees up another midfielder boomer.
Steel kick to the wing, intercepted by Bailey Williams, will put West Coast back inside forward 50. Shallow entry, picked up by Quaynor, shares it with Steele. Back out to Frampton, hand passes close to the boundary line. He'll be able to kick it right down the wing. He's looking for McStay, couldn't take the mark. Jimby was hot on him. Picks up the footy, little chip kick ball, will be a direct turnover. Chris has it. It's West Coast ahead by 5 points, early stages at the G.
Lifts a handball away to Lipinski, one of the 4 inclusions for Collingwood. Heads down to half forward. Elliott thought about flying. Spills out the back to Duggan. Elliott tackles him, taken to ground. Says, I'll have it. Umpires Nichols, Adair, Roger, McGuinness. As we've touched on, our man Ian Burrows running the boundary for the 450th time. From the boundary throw-in. De Gully at the coalface, can't trap it, spills out a play. Just repeating earlier today too, York Kangas boomer came from 43 down in the second term to win by 6 after the siren.
It's a big win, isn't it? That's huge.
Points. That's 7 goals.
Darwin, 2 games in Darwin.
Yeah,
must have zapped
it is. There's no question about that. It's sacrifice winning.
Ball flung in inside forward 50 for the Pies. Tapped down Cameron. Just gets a little soccer towards Pendlebury. Hand pass out towards Nick Dacos. Hand pass to Lipinski. Close to the boundary line. Threads it off a step. What a way to open the account for Collingwood this afternoon. In Scott Pendlebury's 433rd game, he plays a part in that chain that leads to the Pies' first goal of the afternoon. And they take the lead against the Eagles. The Pies won 1-7, the Eagles won straight 6. Just 7 minutes played in the opening term at the MCG.
Just a goal from nothing, really, Mick.
Yeah, it was.
Just a couple of quick hands and a missed tackle there by one of the West Coast boys. And there was a nice finish, though. Lipinski right on the boundary, right foot on the boundary. And when you kick around your body like that, Mick, the ball often tries to find its shape back.
Yes, it does.
So it sort of can make it swing, and he clearly has practiced that.
Only players that have practiced it, Boomer.
Yes.
You're one that could have practiced that. But that's right. Sometimes it does fade back. Torpedoes are the same.
Yeah, they find their line, their natural line.
Do. Yeah. Torpedoes, you hit a torpedo through the middle, it'll quite often swing and come back at you. So, some really good players that can know how to torp it.
Dacos back in the middle now.
As is Pendlebury. Taken out of the ruck by Darcy Cameron. Here is Pendles, attacks it, wins it. Handball out in front of De Goey. Sockers it forward for Collingwood. Picked up by Hayes. Is he tackled high? No whistle. Says keep rolling. Late whistle. Now the high tackle paid.
Come from the other umpire.
So it'll come back eventually to Will Hayes, the youngest Magpie out there at 20. It's a 1-point lead for Collingwood. 1-1 over the West Coast Eagles, 1 straight. Crowded forward 50 for the Pies. Hayes kicks to full forward, misses a whole lot of bodies, slides through to Long. Hand pass out in front of Nick Dacos, feeds it wide to half forward Lipinski. Back to Nick Dacos, tight angle against the boundary, shoots goalward, offline and behind, he got a shove. And it's going to be a free kick. He was pushed as he disposed or after he disposed of the footy, and a free kick against the boundary line for Nick Dacos.
Pushed in the side as he kicked it. Boomer?
Yeah, not a lot in it.
Not
a lot in it. It's players still go high on the instead of getting in the hips where you can shove, they just go a little bit higher and get the number.
Ray Chamberlain, you get a look at that?
That's in the side.
That's in the side, all right.
Boomer's explanation's spot on, and again, we've got no replay down here, but if you get them in the jumper, they'll always pay the free. You've got to go the hips or the side, so that's what they've got to aim up at.
I thought their shoulders were in the side. I can't remember being in the back.
Here's Nick Dacos, who kicks a drop punt from a tight angle. He's bringing it back, but not enough. And Williams helps it through for a minor score. And we have hit the 10-minute mark. And the SP 4-3-3 batters are waved overhead, which is an incredible spectacle with over 93,000 in the house.
The umpires actually stopped the game.
Congratulations, Scott Pendlebury.
It does look good, doesn't it?
Record breaker, 4-3-3, and he waves overhead to acknowledge the applause and then says, all right, let's get on with the game.
It did look good. That actually looked really good.
Tom McCarthy just standing there with the kick in for West Coast, waiting to be given the all clear to kick it back in, and West Coast can work it to centre wing. It's picked up by Harley Reid, hand pass across to Shanahan. He tries to fire one off to Hoff, dispossessed the footy, back to Shanahan. Hand pass to Kelly, still in the hands of the Eagles. He tries to dab this one short to the top of the 50. Howe can intercept. Hand pass to Frampton, hand pass across to Maynard. And it will be Collingwood who are able to exit defensive 50. Across to Hayes, left half back for the Pies. Right down the Shane Warne end. Tries to spear a pass down to centre wing. Jinby gets in front and can bring it to ground. And then Champion can pick it up. Hand pass it across to Duggan. Hand pass to Young. And it's a long kick right down the wing. Howe rises like he does so often. Gets the reach, can't take the mark. The ball's pulled in. And all the players dive on top, and it'll be a ball up about 60 metres out from West Coast attacking goal. They're trailing Collingwood by 2 points, 11 minutes played in the first quarter.
How was that not a free kick to Jimby? That happened in the forward 50. That is a chop of arms, a too high and in the back.
Harley Reid bursts away explosively from the stoppage, turns and kicks to full forward. Moore's tracking it, takes the intercept mark. Full back for Collingwood.
So there's going to be a crowd effect today. This is what the Eagles have to remember. And let me tell you, we've coached against this for 10 years. You just got to put up with it and make sure that you put yourself in the best position.
Ball goes long to West in a one-on-one, and West wins it. And that's West, who plays for Collingwood, who kicks down the wing, taken by the goalie. Hand pass over his shoulder to Schultz. Pies away, looks corridor with the kick. Hayes marks right on the 50. Will Hayes kicks inside the attacking arc. Side bottoms down there, as is McStay. Clean bowls everybody. Jimby scoops it up, gives it to Davis. Back to Jimby. Slick hands into the defensive goal square for Lindsay. Goes short to Duggan.
So he can play. Jimby can play. He's composed. He's tough.
The kick out comes down the line. Lipinski gets in front and tries to punch it away from Dersma. He recovers, can pick up the footy, take it. And spear a pass across to Baker, just 15 metres ahead of him. Dersma gets the hand pass back, then takes 2 bounces as he's running down the wing on the broadcast side of the ground. Kicks inside forward 50. It'll be a chopping of the arms. Free kick for West Coast. Play on anyway. Hoff runs into an open goal and gets it. They had the free kick, took the advantage and get the right result. It's West Coast's second goal on the board this afternoon. They take back the lead. 2 straight 12, the Eagles. Collingwood 1-2-8, 13 minutes played in the opening term. And it's the Eagles ahead by 4 points before the thoughts of our experts, Mick Moldhouse and Brett Harvey. Ray Chamberlain on the boundary.
Well, we are on Scott Pendlebury watch, and we know that he comes off once a quarter as a general rule, and he's just made his way to the boundary now, and he's sitting there with his captain. Nothing untoward or unusual about that, just standard interchange rotations.
Has he changed the jumper, Ray?
Not to this point.
Okay.
That was a brilliant bit of play by West Coast. And I don't know about you, Boomer, but when you're going to play on like that and you're running an open goal, you want to put it on the ground, I'd be only putting it on the ground with a metre out.
Well, he was at the top of the goal square and he nearly missed it, Mick.
Well, they almost hit the post.
I know.
I just don't get all of a sudden you know, I've seen games won and lost because of these.
Eagles out of the middle. Yo shakes one tackle. Caught the second time. Allen got him. That's Ed Allen for Collingwood. Holding the ball. De Goey took the body. In the end, the Eagles take the footy. Hand pass back into the pack. Taken away by Kelly. Oh, he got it out. Out to Williams. Williams to Murdoch. Murdoch goes darting away. Big fend off, but he's running the wrong way. West Coast still with possession. Short kick to Yo. And marks on the logo out on that southern side. He's got a man free all alone at half forward. Hits him up with a spearing kick.
Yeah, Maynard's direct opponent. He pressed when he probably shouldn't have pressed there.
I know that.
The West Coast player made it look like he was going wide, so he did press for that reason.
Now Harvey Johnston is back in the slow play. Kicks to full forward and an easy intercept mark for Houston.
Yeah, good coordination by the Pies there. They just one just locked into the forward where he couldn't get a run at it. You practice that at training. That is a very good drill and a very good result for Collingwood.
The Eagles as Wallich, Marawa during Sir Doug Nichols' round. They lead by 4 points. They've kicked two of the first 3 goals as Cameron goes short to Quaynor. We've had all the pomp and ceremony for Scott Pendlebury, an incredible guard of honour which stretched all the way to outside Collingwood's rooms. As the Pies try and switch dangerously, Frampton hits up side bottom. The other bit of news is every Collingwood player has a gold number.
And it's Howe that launches this one right down to centre wing. McCreery gets a little space on his opponent and can mark. And then finds some space ahead of him, takes a bounce, will dug this one right to the top of the 50. Elliott marks just outside the arc, then can spear a pass inside forward 50 to go. He's on the lead, had to backtrack a little, but clunks the mark.
When your transition is that quick, your backline are not working in coordination with your midfield. Your back players generally drop off a half a yard and your mids are then caught out. So if those mids had to push forward, I reckon the backs could have come up on those Collingwood players, and that's what you get.
De Goey from 48 metres out, kicks towards goal, and it's offline to the right-hand side. Just a minor score for the Pies.
They just did it easy, Mick, didn't they? They dropped the eyes, they lowered the eyes, and they had players hitting up. And when you turn, face the game and put speed on the ball, not through your legs, just through kicking the ball, it's quick.
Yeah, it is. But you've got to occupy that corridor. And the Eagles players, I thought were really lazy in pushing back into that, say, 35 to 40 metres out.
Eagles by 3, 16 minutes in. Davis on the back flank, long kick down the line, and Howe gets up and punches it away. About 20 rows back into the Shane Warne stand, so we'll have a boundary throw-in out on that outer wing.
About as big as a kick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was huge.
Not many seats vacant either. This is a big crowd.
Quarter time at Cardinia Park, Sydney by 4 points. So the Swans up against the Cats. If you want to listen to that game, you can find it streamed through ABC Listen. And earlier today, North Melbourne from 43 down beat the Gold Coast Suns by 6. A goal after the siren to Cam Zerha. For the boundary throw-in, Murdoch got a handball away towards Bo Allen. Trickles a kick forward for the Eagles. Harley Reid knocks it back inboard. Intercepted. The Pies take it away. Josh Dacos kicks to Elliott. He doesn't need much of a look, Jamie Elliott, and so strong overhead for a little man. Marks at centre half forward.
I'm not sure who the West Coast player is. I'm just trying to...
That was on him?
It's Tyler Young. Tyler Young.
He probably could have taken the body a little bit more. He tried to use his long levers because he is a bit taller than Elliott. But, probably could have taken the body just a fraction earlier.
The gold number 10 trots back on. Pendlebury back into the game after his rest. Elliott on his way in, but wayward.
It's a couple of misses now. De Goey and Elliott.
1-4 Collingwood. West Coast 2 straight. 18 minutes in. The visitors by 2 points.
Lindsay brings it in with a little chip to McCarthy. Holding in the right back pocket for the Eagles. Kicks outside of defensive 50. It'll work for Davis, who marks, and hand passes it back to Lindsay. He's having an excellent season with the Eagles. Hand passes it back to Davis. He wants to kick right down to centre wing, where the ball will fall into dispute. Murdoch wins it for the Eagles. Hand passes it out, and they'll be able to move it forward here through Bazzo, who can put the kick right to centre half forward. The mark will be taken, and it's Shanahan with it for the Eagles. He's about 65 metres out from goal. In the end, he'll just pop it up to a hot spot and hope for a mark to come from his teammates. Yo didn't have the numbers around him to support. Pendlebury got a little touch in to bring it to ground. Yo goes in after it, can't pull it in from himself. Houston will. Hand pass to Lipinski. Hand pass to Allen of the Pies, who hand passes it out to Quaynor. And they can move it down the outer wing here. As Steele puts it right down the line. It'll be a turnover, though. Jimby's been patrolling all afternoon. He takes it for the Eagles.
Immediately goes back and across to Tom McCarthy. Number 1 pick in last year's mid-season draft. This year's edition on Tuesday night. And switches on. Young comes wide to Hacksaw Liam Duggan, who kicks down to half forward, finds Waterman. Good marks, looks inside the forward 50. Yo hitting up out of the goal square. No mark, no free. Ball slides through to Frampton, and he can pump it back the other way for Collingwood. Kicks to McCreary. They got the numbers advantage to the Pies. Ball hits the deck. Passing without it. Dersma sits up for McCreary. Collingwood on the wing. Handball to Crisp. He's tackled. Coughs it up. Dersma back the other way for the Eagles.
He pumps it down to left half forward. It'll bounce into some space. Yo can take it. He gets taken in a strong tackle by Frampton. Brought to ground.
Yeah,
holding the footy.
Yeah, it's a very good decision because it could have been construed as he had no time, but he had time all right. In fact, he was going to see if he can balk him. Just didn't. The legs wouldn't work for him.
Frampton wins it for the Pies. He'll put it right down the line as Nick Dacos takes the mark running in from the interchange bench. But it is a West Coast free kick in that contest. It'll be Brett Buzzo to take it. Right in front of the Collingwood interchange bench. He'll dump it the way it came. Frampton, again, is part of the pack. He taps it down, but he can only get it as far as Bo Allen. He'll kick towards the top of the goal square, punch through. Quaynor's there to send it through for a minor score, which is the Eagles' first blemish of this afternoon. Their lead back out to 3 points. 20 minutes gone in the first term.
Andrew McQualter coaching from the bench. Oh, Maynard hooks the kick wildly from the kick out, but finds Houston, his intended target on the boundary line. Half back for Collingwood. Hand pass away to McCreary. Off he trots. Eagles by 3. Time on now in this opening term. 2 bounces from McCreary. Kicks outside of the right boot to Long. So McStay right there with him, who's now pressing inside the attacking 50. Long puts it a little deeper. Jimmy's in the hole, and as Loz called, that's what he's been doing. Comes across to intercept, spills it, put himself under the pump. McStay for Collingwood. Handball to McCreary. Handball to Nick Dacos. Shoots goalward, misses.
Well, Jimby, that was a sitter that he dropped there and just put the Eagles back under the pump, hence why Collingwood boys and Nick Dacos had a shot on goal. It's an easy mark.
He did, but he's been in.
Oh, he's been fantastic.
Because he's a forward come midfielder.
That's his first blemish
converted to the back line. He's been very, very impressive.
7 touches.
Yeah.
2-1 to 1-5. So 1-5 Collingwood. Dacos has missed twice. The Eagles by 2 points. Time on opening term Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Cole launches the footy right down the wing. A mark can't be taken by Jack Williams. It'll be stolen by Crisp. Hand pass to Ed Allen, who shares it back with Crisp. He's taken in the tackle. Just gets a hand pass away. It's stopped by Young. Hand passes it to Davis. Back in the hands of the Eagles. Across to Jack Williams. Gets tackled by Howe. Still gets a hand pass away to Davis. Hand pass across to Dersma. He'll kick to left half forward for the Eagles, where Moore's sitting for the Pies.
That's good play again by Maynard. Just taking his opponent off the ball so his teammate can mark the footy.
Intercepts and then kicks inboard to DeGoey. Marks and chips it down to Nick Dacos. They're standing just backwards of centre wing and wants to retreat to Frampton. He'll move it through the centre of the MCG now by chipping it to DeGoey, who spins around in a full 360 and then hand passes to Frampton, who runs to his right. And this time, Billy Frampton will propel it right to the top of the 50. No mark can be taken. Long will bring it to ground. Hand pass it to McCreary. Hand pass it to Elliott. Wipes off his hands. And we'll go over the boundary line for a throw-in.
So Collingwood get that ball through the middle of the ground because Nick Dacos runs hard and attracts 2 players.
Yep.
Leaves the right side open. I think it was Frampton who came back and got an easy possession because of Nick Dacos's hard work.
Well, they got a runner here with Scott Pendlebury. Looks like Brady Hoff's trotting around with him for the boundary throw-in. And spills down towards Ed Allen of the Pies. Hand pass back into the ruck. Picked up there by McCarthy. His hand pass stolen. McCreary releases Nick Dacos. Nick Dacos shoots and misses again.
3 points.
This has been the theme of his year. He's kicked 8 goals, 16 on the season, Nick Dacos. And cannot find the major opening for the best player in the game. It's the Eagles by a point. 23 minutes gone in the opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
You're right, Boomer. 3 points in the opening term. Liam Baker will bring it back in for the Eagles. He goes right down to half-back. DeGoey ends up doing the tackling to lock in the ball. Haley Williams comes in to remonstrate a little bit, but we'll have a ball up at right half forward.
Well, they're not backing off the Eagles. They might be the younger side, Corby, but they're certainly not backing off the physical.
Archie Bargy continues down there at half forward.
Harley Reid involved.
Maynard too, so few of the usual suspects, but it's Collingwood that win the footy through the centre of the ground and through Steele. Long penetrating kick inside forward 50. Ball comes to ground. McStay fighting for it, can't win it. It'll be a ball up inside forward 50 for the Pies.
Just funny, every time Harley Reid gets the ball, for some reason they tackle him harder.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And take him to ground.
Bailey Williams leaps up high, grabs it out of the ruck. Hurry, kick forward, turnover.
Yeah.
And Rone Steele takes the mark centre half forward.
That's the problem of players who should know that the boundary is your best friend. In that position there, if it goes out and they get it, so what? That's a 50 metre from the fence, not straight in front. It's always intrigued me why players want to go up the middle when they can't design the kick.
This time last year, he was getting ready to exit the waffle. Another mid-season drive success story. Rone Steele sends it all the way home. Collingwood back on top. 2-6 to 2-1, and Collingwood lead it by 5 behind. 25 minutes in. This is Saturday footy on ABC Sport in Geelong. It's Sydney by 7 points. 6 minutes into the second term. Call available, streamed through ABC Listen.
It's a really good point, Mick, because when you're under pressure, you know that the opposition is setting up like
exactly.
And that's how they get a lot of inside 50s, the repeat inside 50s. So you either got to kick the ball long and high to give your forwards
a chance
because you're outnumbered, or you got to go long and hard to the boundary. Of course, with the boundary now and the lasso,
who cares?
But you'd rather that than go 45 metres out and have a set shot directly in front.
Look, it should be practice at training. Under pressure, just whack it to the fence. You know, the old saying, and it's still current today, boundary line is your best friend.
Collingwood back ahead. Third lead change of the first quarter so far. Reid takes it out of the middle and puts it inside 50 for the Eagles. Crisp can get on the end of it. He gets tackled to the turf and held there. It spills out. Little hand pass comes from Kelly. He only gets it as far as Pendlebury, who exits it out of Collingwood's defensive 50. Running onto it, though, is Bazzo. Takes it, gets tackled. Ball spills out. McCarthy picks it up. Hand pass to Marrick. He just hurriedly kicks it down the line.
Silly.
And that's down and out of bounds on the full, or the mark will be paid.
No, I think it's downfield.
And the ball went out of bounds on the full, so it would have been Collingwood's ball, but it was McCreary who bumped him just after he kicked it.
So Rhett Bazzo gets the free kick for the West Coast Eagles. Right down inside forward 50. This will result in a shot at goal as Bailey Williams holds onto the mark.
He can play, this kid. He runs and jumps as good as anyone I've seen.
You know, a couple of years ago, they're going, oh, we did another ruckman. I kept on saying that to Trevor Nesbitt when he was there, and then Donnie Pike, this kid can play football. Don't ignore him because of, you know, like he does a couple of dopey things every now and again, but he's a ruckman. They do it. So,
part of the deal, Mick.
Part of the deal. Part of what you have to put up with. But he launches himself at it. He had a ripping game last week. I think he's best on the ground last week.
Excellent last week in the win against GWS. Bailey Williams coming in for a set shot at goal to give the Eagles back the lead. It's completely across the face. It just squeezes through. 4 behind, cuts back Collingwood's lead to 4 points late stages of this first term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
I mentioned that stat line, 16 disposals, 2 goals, 9 tackles and 41 hitouts. Bailey Williams against the Giants. Houston in his 200th sends it down the wing, trying to swat it away. Bazzo into the path of Lindsay. The Eagles keep it. Handball to Kelly. Long kick inside 50. Another leap for Bailey Williams. Have another go.
So just then,
he must be forward, is he? Yeah, he is forward.
Yeah, he's gone forward now. It looks like he jumps and hovers.
He
like he just stays in the air.
He's got a
bit of Michael Jordan about him or something.
Wonderful leap. But he's had that. When you watch him ruck, he sits up there. He just stays there.
Yep.
Defies gravity. Now, he should knock this over because he's generally a pretty good kick too.
The new ruck rules obviously help him because he's a runner and jumper, so
exactly.
It doesn't have to wrestle as much.
Might need to flip that 32 on his back around. In he comes. Ed Bailey knocks it through. And the Eagles jump back in front. 3-2 to 2-6. Woolwich Marilla are West Coast Eagles as they are during Sir Doug Nicholls' round. 28 minutes into this opening term, the Eagles by 2. That is lead change number 4. We've got a good one going at the G. Brent Harvey and Mick Malthouse with you on ABC Sport.
It's a good start, Mick, for 2 reasons. When you come into state, or when we used to play interstate, the start was crucial.
Yep.
If you let the home team get on top of you, the crowd gets involved, and we already know that there's 95 or 97,000 people here, and I reckon there's 96,999 are Collingwood supporters. So you've got to silence them. They're doing really well. It's only 2 points, but they're still not in front of the Pies.
So West Coast take back the lead late in this opening term.
It'll just bounce, and I reckon that'll be the quarter.
Floodlights on at the MCG as Bailey Williams gets the tap out and the siren sounds. to mark the end of the first term between the Pies and the Eagles at the MCG. Scott Pendlebury officially owns the record now as outright games record holder in the AFL after playing that term and getting on the path. But it is West Coast with a 2-point lead at quarter time. 3-2-20 playing Collingwood, 2-6-18. As Corb said, the four lead changes across that opening term. The goal kickers so far for the Eagles, Elliot Yeo, Brady Hoff and Bailey Williams each with singles, and on the Collingwood side of things, Pat Lipinski and Roan Steele with the goals for the Pies, with the Eagles ahead by 2 points at quarter time.
And Pendlebury with the 4 disposals, 1 kick, 3 hand passes in that opening term. Bang bodies with Harley Reid at 1 point, which was a little highlight, and the scuffle that broke out following that. Dan off the SMS says, I feel sorry for Boomer. He missed a Kangaroos win for the ages just to watch a game where his record's broken.
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it? So fill me in, Corbin. Cam Zurhaar
kicked a goal
after, so it was a draw.
They were 6 points down with a minute to go. First, they had the goal to tie the game, and then the ball goes back to the middle. Gold Coast got the centre clearance, about 50 seconds left. Turnover, half back, zoom, zip, one end of the ground to the other. Zurhaar marks 15 out straight in front. Takes the last 30 seconds off the clock. Horn goes, knocks through the goal after the siren. Easy as that. 43 points down and a 8-goal swing in the game.
So the Darwin thing, I mean, and you're big on this, Mick, because I've heard you speak about it before. They play back-to-back games in Darwin. You're 43 points up against
does not help
North Melbourne, and then they come back and win. So it's an interesting topic of conversation, I would say.
Well, given how if you're 43 points in front and it gradually goes down, your legs are not working the way your brain wants. You're starting to feel the pinch, and the more you feel the pinch, the more your brain's telling you you're tired.
Yep.
Then there's great data around it. So they're 1-3 in the first month coming back from Darwin. So 1 win out of 4.
Yep.
For the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
On the other side of that, Corby, they don't lose up there.
Yeah. Also off the SMS, awesome coverage as always. Hope West Coast can get up from the Pavlinovic family, who's on holidays in Croatia. Paul from Torquay, congratulations to Scott Pendlebury for his games record. But more importantly, he played through the dreadlock phase of his career and survived. Thank goodness for wisdom from Paul. Appreciate that off the SMS. I can't believe you allowed that, Mick, in your time. Scott Pendlebury, the dreadlocks.
I was only jealous.
More from Mick and Boomer coming up next. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Vote now by searching ABC Classic 100, greatest of all time.
On ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen. This is Sir Doug Nicholls Round with ABC Sport.
And Scott Pendlebury walks over the white line, rips off the warm-up top with the goal, number 10 on his back. And Scott Pendlebury runs out onto the MCG for game number 433. Overcast skies, floodlights on, yellow Sharon out. Kelly goes long, straight down the pipe, offhand, spills out the back of the pack. Elliot Yeo kicks the first goal of the game.
Ball flung in inside forward 50 for the Pies. Tap down Cameron. Just gets a little soccer towards Pendlebury. Hand pass out towards Nick Dacos. Hand pass to Lipinski. Close to the boundary line. Threads it off a step.
This is Sir Doug Nicholls Round on ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen.
The Eagles have made the most of their forward 50 entries. They're 3-2. They lead Collingwood, who are 2-6. Nick Dacos, one of the biggest culprits. He's missed 3 times. Champion Data have credited him with 2. The other one was touched on the line and knocked through. So if you technically want to say it's a rush behind it, it was a missed shot off Nick Dacos' boot. Geelong have come out breathing fire in the second term, halfway through the second quarter in Geelong. And the Cats now lead by 12 points over Sydney, having trailed that game at quarter time. So call available of that through ABC Listen. It's a huge day of sport, obviously, here on ABC Sport, as always, available streamed through ABC Listen. Scott Pendlebury in his record-breaking game. The man who's played more games than everybody else on planet Earth, not named Scott Pendlebury, Brent Harvey, is here with us, as is the coaching games record holder, Mick Malthouse. It's quarter time at the G. The Eagles by 2.
It was a good start, Mick. It's actually a really good game. Collingwood had some really good passages, and we spoke about mark, kick, and they did that on a number of occasions. And then and we also spoke about the run that Nick Dacos gives them. And on a couple of occasions, he didn't get the football, but he's so good that the opposition just gets attracted to him, and then other players can come into the game. But I've liked what West Coast done. Bailey Williams looked sensational going forward just then. What they're doing for me, Mick, that's working, they're getting the ball from inside the contest to outside the contest. So think of a bullseye. You're in there. They're getting the ball out, and it's a 4 or 5 metre handball out the back or to the side over the top of a Collingwood player. Then they're able to kick the ball with no pressure. 11 inside 50s, Collingwood. 19 to West Coast. So it's a really good start.
Yep. I'm with you. 11 to 9. Actually, I had 11 to 15. I don't know why I had 15. So they must have readjusted. Which is not a good outcome. Look, it's a good outcome if you're leading, but it's only 25% ratio of actually scoring. They've put a lot of football in there. It's come out,
but they're giving the forwards opportunities, and that's probably what I was getting at, because they've been starved of that of
that's
late
right.
times.
But that's got to persist. And you've got Waterman, who I think Waterman's a very, very good footballer, but he's got to find the only way he's going to find. He's got to find space, because he's not going to outmark Moore or Frampton. Yep. Because of the Collingwood defence is as good as any. When it's in the air, they lean on someone, and someone will come across to take a mark, like Howell or someone.
But you've mentioned that twice already. They've done that sensationally.
But if you lead on them, they get found out because they drop in behind. Yep. Their natural instinct is dropping behind.
Ray Chamberlain on the boundary. Razor, I'm sure you're on Pendle's watch. Many more changes or any gear changes for him?
Haven't seen any gear changes yet, Corb, but I was having a little bit of a chat with my man Josh Grant, who's an AFL distributor, a.k.a. he sells footy records, and he said to me, Razor, I'm not joking, everyone's sold out inside an hour. It's a bonanza.
Wow. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate that. The Eagles by 2 points, start of the second term, and guess who's got the first touch of the quarter? Pendlebury, hand pass away towards Crisp. It's a kick off his backside, but straight to Williams. That's Bailey for the Eagles. Handball to Kelly, handball to Reid. Long kick inside forward 50. Shanahan the target. Easy one-on-one win. As Moore just edges him underneath the footy, takes the intercept mark. Long kick out towards half-back. Cameron the target. Leaps up and takes the mark. Right half-back, the boy from Albany in southern Western Australia. He flares it wide, and Howe marks against the boundary line at half-back. Eagles by 2, 35 seconds into the second term.
The West Coast are putting a massive amount of running work into Josh Dacos.
Kicks it to Nick Dacos. It'll be a turnover as Reid grabs the footy. He's taken to the turf by Houston. Got him a little high.
And only 2 touches for Josh Dacos, Mick.
Well, the reason is he's not been able to run past and take the footy, because his little wingman opponent is really working him over and then trying to get off him.
Eagles work it to the southern side of the MCG. Lindsay with a kick down the line. Hits up Cully just forward of centre wing. Below the Shane Warne stand. He can kick it to left half forward.
Well, that Joe clear.
Johnson then chips it back to Lindsay.
This is not a football side that's only won 1 game and 3 this year and given up a big score. They're playing some pretty good football, the Eagles.
And here comes Lindsay. He'll send the kick inside forward 50. Cameron's at the back. Got a couple of hands to it. Waterman roved it. Can have a snap at goal. And it's across the face. Just a minor score for the Eagles. And the first score of the second term. The Eagles lead pushes out to 3 points. 2 minutes played in the second term.
Boomer, you called it in that first quarter. When Collingwood move the ball quickly, they catch Eagles out. And that's the way they've got to bring this ball back to get it into the forward line, is through that run and through that corridor.
It's a bad kick, and a turnover just halted your rhythm, Mick, as Howe puts it out to half-back. Shanahan takes the intercept mark, knocks it back inside 50. Big climb from Harley Reid. Ball gets out the back, covering off Roan Steele, running goalpost to goalpost, knocks it through for a rush behind. And there's that hard running that he was recruited, or the reason why he was recruited. I guess he goes and picks up the Sherrin. There's a little clue. Scott Pendlebury to take the kick out. Eagles by 4, 2.5 gone second term.
Game 433. Scott Pendlebury, what most in the crowd are here to see and to celebrate. He kicks it outside of defensive 50. The mark will be taken by Charlie West, one of the newer members of the team. He kicks right down the wing looking for Schultz. Punches it away. Elliott goes chasing after it, but it'll be a throw-in right in front of West Coast's bench, down to Ray Chamberlain on the boundary.
Yeah, Mick, you're talking about the West Coast Eagles and how they've settled. The last time I saw them live was at the mighty Norwood football ground. Not exactly 90,000, but I tell you what, Jimby, Dersma, Reed, Bailey Williams and co, you'd be pretty happy if you're a West Coast supporter seeing how they're handling this environment.
Ball tossed in. Kelly just puts the ball on his boot to gain some distance. It'll work in the end for Davis, who can hand pass it away. Might have been taken high.
It's pretty hot.
Holding the footy in the end against Johnston it was.
Well, he had the football
a Maynard free kick.
Yeah, he had the football hand passes, so I don't know what you're supposed to do. I'll let Ray's opinion of that.
What do you reckon, Ray?
Well, he broke the first tackle, caught by the second, which means he's had a prior opportunity. He attempted to handball, but he didn't successfully handball. That's why holding the ball.
Righto.
Thanks, Ray. Nick Dacos kicks down to half forward, and he was dealt with after getting rid of it. Tim Kelly bowled him over, so free kick for Schultz. Number 8 on his back, a man who's played in 8 Western Derbies, now in the Collingwood colours, the former Docker. Short to Lipinski. Lipinski kicks along to the hot spot. Darcy Cameron runs to the front of the pack, swatted away by Young, down into the path of Crisp. He's coat hangered in all of that. And Jack Crisp is going to get the free kick right in front, 30 metres out.
Just silly little things that West Coast are doing. If they tidy that up, I mean, they're clearly winning at the minute, but if they tidy that up, they're going to be in the game. So this is going to be an easy goal from a silly tackle. Tim Kelly hitting Dacos after he kicks the ball.
Yeah.
Those little disciplines things, that they really add up.
And actually, even last week, a lot of things they did when play hit the ground, they'd push him into the ground. I just don't get that, because at some stage the umpires rightfully will go, no, we're sick of this, and that's not in the spirit of the game, and it's a free kick.
And his 273rd consecutive game to rival Pendlebury is the Iron Man. He misses out to the left and behind, and that is contagious for Collingwood. 2 goals, 7. West Coast to 3-4. We're 5 minutes into the second term. It's the Eagles by 3 points.
And it's not the 7 times, Colin, because 5 of them have been pretty basic and pretty easy. I think Dacos has had a couple on the run, but the rest have been set shots.
What'll stand longer, Jack Crisp's consecutive games record or Pendlebury's games record?
Oh, Pendlebury's without a doubt.
Pendlebury's.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know about that.
We might have been on a different...
273 in a row. Amazing.
Yeah, but people will get to that.
Maynard is ripped over the line by Reed. And those two hotheads will have a little bit of a push and shove before the umpire will throw the ball in.
How about that for a matchup, was? Reed and Dacos.
So the ball's tossed in. Darcy Cameron on his knees ends up paddling it away to Josh Dacos. Hand pass to Goey. Kick inside forward 50. He's looking for McStay. Jimby front position again. Punches it away. We'll have to lend to some support here as the tackling pressure comes from Hayes, and he can lock the footy inside forward 50 for the Pies. Just. And we'll have a ball up.
Jimby's the best of all the players who have improved.
Tap out comes to Steele. He puts it down inside the right forward pocket. Lindsay has it, and he's happy to just walk it over the line for a throw-in. The Eagles up by 3.6 minutes played in this second term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
No, I think he's a star.
He's been unbelievable.
He's going to be better when he's the third. At the minute, he's the number 1 defender, and he's playing undersized.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Cats lead the Swans by 20 just before half-time. The only throw in here, the Eagles trying to work it out of defence. Murdoch got it away to Davis. Handball to Bowen. He's tackled, taken the ground.
So when he can become the third player and come off his direct opponent and doesn't have to play on the big beast, he's going to be an absolute star, and it will change the way he plays as well.
Jack Edwards grabs it out of the ruck, clears defence, only momentarily though. Scrapping in for it, Roan Steele, knocked away from him. Here's Nick Dacos, hits it at speed. Got it away to Josh Dacos. Handball comes further wide to DeGoey, dabs it inside 50, and Roan Steele bobs up again.
Well, his kicking power is quite extraordinary, this kid. He's pretty good. It's a hard one to say that he can knock this one over, but he does. It wouldn't surprise me. He holds the ball very well.
He's got a good tank too, doesn't he? Just bobs up, creates a lot of space for himself.
Yeah, he does. He falls off at the right time.
Roan Steele. He decides just to set it up here to the hot spot. They come from all directions. Spills down to Schultz. The opportunistic small forward hooks it through for a goal. And Collingwood retake the lead. And there's back and forth affair at the G. Lockie Schultz kicks Collingwood's third of the day. So 3-7 to 3-4. Collingwood by 3 points. We're 8 minutes into the second term. This is Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Brent Harvey, Mick Malthouse.
So they're the little things I'm talking about, Mick. That's a drop mark. And now a goal to the opposition. You punch that and kill the ball through the goals, or you mark it like you probably should have. Now the ball's going back outside 50.
Exactly.
Defenders haven't got pressure on them. They're the little things I'm talking about with the discipline and downfields and all that sort of stuff. These are the tiny, tiny little things that West Coast need to change or get better at, because that's in there. It's going to be 1 goal a quarter that happens. There's 4 for the game.
Yeah.
That's if they don't do it twice.
Yep. And the thing is too, Boom, is we've seen discipline things, but that is a technical thing. You either set yourself to, I'm going to spoil the hell of it, or I'm going to mark it.
Pies ahead by 3. DeGoey takes it right out from the middle. Hand pass across to Nick Dacos. Tries to find his brother Josh. Gets out muscled from it. Ball spills to ground. Jack Williams will pick it up. He hand passes it to Bo Allen, who flicks it backwards and can find Duggan. Now it's centre wing, broadcast side of the ground. Just a little dribbly kick forward. Can find Hoff. He hand passes back to Duggan. Puts the kick ahead of him. 30 metres ahead. Colemark. And he can launch inside forward 50 here. Waterman had to come from behind. And Frampton was sitting there ready to intercept and take the footy for the Pies. He has it deep in defence for Collingwood. His side ahead by 3.
Well, there's another one where Reid was just by himself and he was ignored.
Long kick from Frampton up the wing, punched away by Duggan, down to Bo Allen, who's tackled, and ball spills out of bounds. Throw in.
He's given a shot from 15, 20 metres out.
Yep.
You know, that's the difference between a class player, weighs it up, puts the ball to his teammate, not just whacks it in and hopes they mark it, because Collingwood are going to outmark them all the time down there.
He actually had Shanahan. He had 2 options that he could have went to. He decided to go long to the goal square. Had Shanahan on his own as well.
Half forward for the Eagles. 3-point lead for Collingwood from the boundary throw-in. Jack Williams grabs it after it hits the deck. Handball almost a turnover. Eventually is. Crisp gathers, hands it away to side bottom. His handball, turnover. Jinby to McCarthy and then to Allen, all by hand. That's Bo Allen. Kicks laterally. No relation, by the way, to Ed Allen, who's out there playing for Collingwood. Finds Duggan. And Duggan chips it short to Dersma. Caught the play on immediately. Not the required range. It's an ugly kick. And like a slips catch, diving away, Schultz knocks it free, but only as far as Murdoch. Kicks a tumbler out towards half forward. Collected by Marrick. That's an ugly kick. Tough for Waterman. Did well to clean it up. Collects the half volley. Gives it to Yo. Shoots goalward. Turnover.
Again, another one. Elliot Yo, so much more time. Should have went on his right foot. Just knowing your surroundings there.
Yeah, they just butchered that.
More chips to Quaynor, who just chips slightly further up the ground to Nick Dacos. Hand pass back to Quaynor, who's running along the southern wing. He hand passes it to Steele, flicks it to DeGoey, and Steele wants it back, so he takes it. It's centre wing for the Pies. He can put them inside forward 50s. Elliott is running back and holds on to the mark. Almost looks to play on, but might set himself here to take a shot. His eyes are darting.
And poor Jimby, it was a 2-on-1 in Collingwood's forward 50 there. Elliott was the one that got lucky and got the football, but he couldn't do nothing about that.
He had to cover a whole heap then.
So Jamie Elliott will steady himself now. We'll be kicking from just inside forward 50, starting from the advertising hoardings. He shanks the kick. It'll drop short. It'll be punched through for a minor score. That did not look good off the boot. Didn't make the distance, and in the end gets rushed through for a behind.
Like an inside-out torpedo that floated.
Did that come off a hand or something? It couldn't have to. It couldn't come off just straight off his boot.
I think it did, Mick.
Wow. That's probably his worst kick in the history of the world.
Collingwood's lead now 4 points.
Like a wounded duck. As McCarthy goes short to Dersma. The number 1 pick in last year's draft. He kicks out wide and finds Bo Allen. He was the Eagles' first pick a couple of years ago in the national draft. Bo Allen in and out of the team this year. He sends it down the wing, the lefty. 1 of 4 in the team today for the Eagles. Offhands it spills to Yo. Tackled, dispossessed. Away to Hoff, and he's held up on the logo on the broadcast wing. It's almost half-time in Geelong. Sydney will have the last shot of the half, but it's GWS. Sorry, there's no GWS playing. It's Geelong who lead by 26 points. So Geelong by 26 points there over the Swans just before half-time. As the Eagles hurriedly work at the half-forward, Howe's got it. He's tackled and will have a ball up as Cole lays the tackle. They untangle themselves. Half forward for the Eagles. Collingwood by 4 points.
Eagles kicking towards the city end of the G in the second term. Lipinski grabs it and gets it as far away from those goals as possible, though, as Jimby again gets involved in the action. Can't pick it up cleanly. Duggan cleverly just tries to tap it away to Baker. He gets dumped to the turf. Bo Allen has a go. He's seen over the boundary line by McState, and we'll have a ball in at about centre wing.
Sia from Tasmania off the SMS, not comparing, but Peter Dacos has 3 straight by now. Talking about Nick's misses earlier in the game. And I reckon the game is really going to open up in the second half from Cal. Thanks, Cal.
So margin hasn't got beyond 6 points, and that was the Eagles' lead when Elliot Yeo kicked the first goal of the game. It is now Collingwood ahead by 4, and it's Nick Dacos who'll put them back inside forward 50. Kick from centre wing. It was a hurried kick. Tom McCarthy ably sitting back there for the Eagles to intercept.
Handball away to Jinby. He's off and running and decides to kick laterally up to Josh Lindsay, who looks a real player. Rising star nom last week, the Eagles' 3rd of the season. All the way back to McCarthy, and McCarthy now switches to right half back for Duggan. 13.5 gone second term. It's a 4-point advantage for Collingwood.
Well, why isn't that 50 metres?
Chips it to Kelly, the man on the mark. Is that what you meant?
The man on the mark came from 20 metres away and then ran around.
Along down the wing, Murdoch, handball away to Jack Williams. Short kick to half forward. Shanahan did well, attacks the footy, wins it. Handball to Waterman. Handball boundary side to Cole. Cole centering, kicks superb.
Wow.
And Harvey Johnston takes the mark right in front, 15 out.
Yeah. Who kicked that back in board then?
Tom Cole.
Cole.
Yeah, well done.
What a kick. And that's... He was played on straight away.
And just sneaks it in. Johnston puts it through. And back the other way we go. Theme of the afternoon so far, lead change number 6. 4 in the opening quarter, 2 in this term. The Eagles by a couple of points, 15 played second quarter. West Coast 4-4, they lead Collingwood 3-8. This is Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Meanwhile, halftime in Geelong, it is the home team, the Cats, who lead the Swans by 20.
Yeah, 54-41 possession rate, 6-5 inside 50. So the Eagles are winning a lot of the football, not necessarily going forward, but when they do go forward, and you get something like that, that's an exceptional kick by Cole to find the target for a start off. Harvey Johnson tended to rush the kick, but anyway, it's a goal. But they're winning. The contested football is the interesting thing for here. Burma, it's 13-15 this quarter, Collingwood's way.
Nick Dacos tries to pull it out from the middle. Gets dispossessed. Hoff has it for the Eagles. He's wrapped up, and we'll have another ball up right in the centre of the MCG as Bailey Williams rises high over Darcy Cameron. Little tap out, but it goes straight to the opposition. Nick Dacos takes it and takes a bounce as well as he puts another kick inside forward 50. This goes just through the hands of Long. It might work out in the end for West. He gets taken to the turf, and the ball will bobble its way outside of the boundary line, and will be throwing inside forward 50 for the Pies. The Eagles ahead by 2 points. Down to Ray Chamberlain on the boundary.
Yeah, West Coast Eagles star Harley Reid's made his way off the ground. A lot of attention on his calves. I'll keep an eye on that one for you.
Thanks, Ray. Boundary throw in. Bailey Williams straight to Nick Dacos. Goal! And that's a blunder on the hit out. And Nick Dacos at last finds the major opening. He's been a little wayward off the boot early. And it's incredible how this run continues. 7 lead changes and the last 7 goals in the game. 4-8 to 4-4. No sides kick back-to-back goals all afternoon, and we're now 16 minutes into the second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Brent Harvey, Mick Malthouse.
So that's what separates good players and great players. So he's taken maybe one step and got rid of the football, kicked a check side banana in the pack. That separates it, Mick. He would practice that. So I think Toby Green's probably one of the better players that I've seen do that off one step. But that's instinct. That's muscle memory stuff. That's star quality.
I wouldn't blame Williams for that. I would blame young Dersma. Dersma just trailed him in. That tap was supposed to be... And Dersma's gone to him. If you ever look at the actual replay...
Bailey Williams inside 50 here. Could we have another lead change? There'll be a free kick to West Coast. Jake Waterman wins the free for the Eagles.
Bit of holding off the ball.
Holding his arm.
Yeah, they're red hot on that now, aren't they? When they put their arm around their waist or grab an arm.
Well, Maynard grabbed him first. I don't know whether there's a free kick or not, but early on, Maynard grabbed him so he couldn't get near the footy. What's this? Here he goes. Yep, holding his arm down.
So Jake Waterman will line up now. He won't be far out from goal. About a 45-degree angle to switch the leads again here at the MCG. His kick is good. And the Eagles are back ahead for the 8th lead change of the match so far. It's Woolwich Marrawar ahead by 2 points in Sir Doug Nicholls' round. The Eagles 5-4-34. The Pies 4-8-32. Ray Chamberlain, what were you seeing there?
No, I couldn't agree with you more, Mick. You know, yeah, an arm goes to the hip, and yeah, there's a hook of an arm, but you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. You're allowed to call play on, and I just worry about this prescriptive. This equals free kick. That equals free kick. You got to assess it on balance about how does it impact the contest, etc. Play on for mine.
Yeah, look touchy.
Did you guys just become best friends? You and Rave
well, we are tending to agree with each other a fair bit. This is getting dangerous.
The Eagles by 2 points. Elliot Yeo kicked the first goal of the game, and in the 8 goals since, the leader swung on each of them. 8 lead changes. West Coast by a couple. Nick Dacos, the 1-2 out of the middle, then coughs it up. Taken away by Murdoch. He gives it over to Davis. Hand pass away to Harley Reid. Runs, carries. The 1-2 with Dersma. The 2 number 1 picks. Reid's kick smothered. Got it back. Reid's still going. Hand pass out wide for Cole. Handball to Lindsay. Short kick to half forward. Picked off Quaynor. Takes the intercept mark half back for Collingwood.
Yeah, he's a good player, Reid. He's trying to do what Dacos does. Give, get. He's just hasn't got quite the finishing power at the moment.
2 point lead for West Coast. Approaching time on in his second term. Quaynor goes long down the wing. And McStay, clever, just pokes it further afield, but ill-directed. Taken by McCarthy. Spun around. Hand pass to Baker. Handball goes back to Bazzo. Hand pass to Jimby. Short kick finds Lindsay. Lindsay's told to keep it moving.
Yeah, good kick. Back inside. Good vision.
He does. He finds Hoff, who takes it. And then Lindsay keeps running, gets the hand pass from him. Hand passes it across to Davis. Lindsay, the hard worker, gets it back from him. Hand passes it to Cole, to Loopy. Hand pass towards Reid, who might have been nudged by Houston. Umpire says play on. Houston will go chasing after the footy close to the boundary line. It's the Eagles that win out. Davis kicks inboard. Waterman running, gets the mark.
Tell you what, that is a brilliant piece of play. For us, again, this is the first time I've seen them live for a long time. They're a serious. They can be a serious side.
Yep, you can see how young they are, Mick.
If they can tidy up what you've said,
little
Burma,
things,
yes,
little things.
Yeah. Because that was keeping the ball solid. There's a couple of players there you really like the one. Murdoch, he goes around all right, the young kid.
And they weave the ball all the way down the ground from very close to the boundary line. Waterman snaps this one towards goal. And there's no finish to the good piece of play that the Eagles just showed. It's just a minor score. So 3 points. The Eagles lead 5-5-35, playing Collingwood 4-8-32. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Half-time in Geelong. Call available of that game streamed through ABC Listen. It's a 20-point lead for the Cats over the Swans after a big second term. Kick comes out wide and Moore takes the mark at half-back. I mentioned Murdoch, Mick. He's another mature age success story. So
25, 26.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's got good decision making and he's super quick. And finishes well as well.
And he plays mature.
Yep.
You know, he's not intimidated by... I know he's been chasing around Dacos, and that in itself is hard work.
Pies in a slow play on the wing. McCreary goes long to a contest. Over the back. Comes Young. He missed it. Slides through to his direct opponent. Elliott, who goals. He doesn't need a second invitation. And the trend continues. Lead change number 9. And back-to-back goals cannot be found in this game. 5-8 to 5-5. Collingwood by 3. 22 gone in the second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Mick Moldhouse, Brent Harvey.
So another little thing, Mick. Tyler Young goes up and spoils the ball. Where does it go? Behind him.
Yep.
As a coach,
come off the top of your nut.
I'm not a defender, but I've heard the coach say 100,000 times, if you spoil it, you make sure it goes to the front of the contest or its side of the contest.
Or the side.
Or out of bounds.
Yep. That's a bad feeling turning around, wouldn't it? You think, oh, no.
Well, that's exactly what happens. The small forwards, that they love that sort of stuff. Jamie Halliday's waiting for that to happen, and he's 2 metres ahead of his opponent. They're not catching him.
Because if he gets punched out, he goes, well, it doesn't matter, I'm in position. But if you make a mistake and you're not with me...
They're the little things, Mick.
90 plus at the MCG. It's been a tight game so far. Tossed up. Williams gets the tap out. Yo tried to move it away to Kelly. He's dispossessed. Chris picks it up. Just hurries the kick forward. It's picked up by West. Hand pass to Pendlebury. Hand passes back to West. He can't quite gain control of the footy. Falls to Lindsay. He's ripped down the tackle by Moore.
Where's Moore playing? He's not playing back, is he? He's playing in the middle of the ground or something.
No, he's looking like he's going into forward 50 now, but...
I reckon they're trying to stretch them out. I reckon they're going to try to stretch West Coast out height-wise.
So Hayes has the footy just forward of the centre circles for Collingwood. Launches it inside forward 50. Can't be marked. Brought to ground. Yo fights for it for the Eagles. Crisp wins it though for the Pies. Hand pass to McCreary. Hand pass to Lipinski. Again from close to the boundary line. Can't thread it this time. Just a minor score for the Pies. Their lead extends to 4 points. Ray on the boundary.
Yeah, Mick, in answer to your question, actually, Darcy Moore contested that centre bounce as the ruck.
I was going to say, it looks like he's in the ruck running around. You know, I'll give you the tip right now. He won't be able to run with Williams all day. Williams is a proven ruckman, whereas Darcy Moore, key back, with all due respects to key backs, especially fullback, they don't travel that far.
Of course, Collingwood, they lost Oscar Steen last week with that season-ending ACL injury. Darcy Cameron is banged up but playing. He's carrying an ankle injury. And said on radio a few weeks ago, it's a little syndesmosis. As Pendlebury spills a mark on the wing, Collingwood regather through side bottom, trying to get a hand pass out, does so. Ed Allen shoots a handball away. Eventually made its way through. Maynard knocks it down to Schultz. Hand pass away to Crisp. Works his way past two Eagles. Jack Crisp kicks to half forward. Elliott the target. Killed over the top by Bazzo. Out of play. Half forward for the Pies. Ray Chamberlain.
Mick, you've nailed it again, mate. He's Darcy Moore, as soon as you said it, hands on hips and blowing heavy.
Well, there's an iron lung in the race. I've got a fair idea it's going to give you left to get on that iron lung, mate. You change a position like that, have a look at him now. He's really struggling.
Bailey Williams charges in to take the footy from the throw-in. Hand passes it across to Young. Kicks down to centre wing. Quaynor will intercept it for the Pies. Hand pass to Maynard. Darts the kick to the very top of the boundary. It'll be hard to keep it in. That is exactly what Pendlebury can do. Holds it inboard and keeps the ball in play. It'll spill out the back, though, towards Murdoch, who tries to take it. Hand passes it away. Bo Allen has it for the Pies. He hand passes it to Crisp. Just hacks a kick forward. Can get it to the very top of Collingwood's attacking arc. It's cleared away by Bailey Williams. He kicks right down the wing, spills to ground. Side bottom's there to collect. He'll keep it in play, very close to the boundary line. Hand pass to Howe. Hand pass to Quaynor. Little underground pass to Crisp. Hand pass to Maynard. They're still getting it forward here any way they can, Collingwood, until Hoff can pick it up. Hand pass to Cully. Hand pass to Collingwood, to Cole. He'll get slung in a tackle, brought to ground. Umpire says play on. Bazzo has a go. He's dispossessed. McCreary picks it up for Collingwood. He hand passes it to Bo Allen. 45 metres out from goal. Can he get this one? He nails it. In all that mess, the Pies get the right result. And Collingwood kicks two in a row for the first time this afternoon. They head out to a game-high 10-point lead at the 25th minute mark of the second quarter. It is Collingwood 6-9-45, the Eagles 5-5-35.
So that goal there, Mick, that's just on the back of pressure.
Oh, it is.
That was elite pressure by the Collingwood forwards, who just got a fingernail in, a couple of really good tackles, keep the ball alive, and then it was a beautiful finish by Allen from, it would have had to be 40 metres out. Yeah. Running away from goal, but snapped it back around his body. Really, really good finish.
Well, contested football is king, I reckon, in games like this when you've got to make sure something happens. And at the moment, the Pies have lifted there. They've gone in front compared to the first quarter as far as those contested possessions go.
Ed Allen, number 16, which Pendles wore in year number 1 all those years ago. As Darcy Cameron wins the hit out down to Nick Dacos. Hand pass out in front of Josh. Yo put his head over it. Got it out towards Hoff. Tackled. Ball up. Middle of the G. Half-time in Geelong. 20-point lead for the Cats over the Swans. Call available. Streamed through ABC Listen. Here it's Collingwood by 10. Back-to-back goals for the first time today. Can they add more? Darcy Cameron kicks inside 50. They all overrun it. Jimby attacks it. Collects. Under pressure. Draws a crowd. Ump says, I'll have it. Ball up centre half forward for the Magpies.
Yeah, the Pies have got extra play behind the ball, and that's what's causing a bit of trouble. Well, they actually got two behind the ball now, so that's going to make it very difficult to come out of this line-up and retain possession.
Murray clears it from the punt road. Attacking 50 for the Pies. It'll be a cluster of players that form and stop the footy from going any further than centre wing, where there'll be a ball up. Nick Dacos involved standing alongside Brady Hoff. It's Cameron who takes it out, though, from the ruck. Hand passes it straight in the direction of Hoff. Hand pass to Marrick. Nick Dacos can intercept it, get a little fingertip on it and bring it to the turf. Hand pass across to Pendlebury. He hand passes further towards Steele. Can't control it. There is a free kick. We're coming back to Nick Dacos. a little bit of a play on, but Nick Dacos will have it in front of the interchange gates.
Had a high tackle, I think, in the back might have been there as well, as Nick Dacos kicks inboard, taken by De Goey, out of corridor, gives it to side bottom, gets it back. De Goey, hand pass away to Houston. He's a long way from goal, hand pass wide, finds Howe, tabs it inside 50, Josh Dacos. 48 metres out, shallow entry, marks right half forward.
Yeah, they've got a lot of players forward, Collingwood. They've got 2, 4, probably 5 players behind. West Coast had only 2 behind, so they've got a lot of players scattered out, but they still couldn't take that player. Again, Boomer, I reckon it's that pressure. And that's the difference between a side that's, it's been in the finals, been up there, experienced against a young player.
He'll have to kick it right on 50. We hadn't had back-to-back goals all day, and we got them with that last kick from Ed Allen. We don't have any more here. Josh Dacos misses the whole set. So out on the full, 10-point lead for the Pies. 28.5 gone in the second term. Pendlebury watch in game 4-3-3. He's had it 9 times, 2 kicks, 7 hand passes. So that's the Pendlebury contribution so far.
What are they doing? Review. It's just a review.
No, it's a blood rule for Tom McCarthy.
Yep. No, you're spot on, Mick. While this blood rule's happening, we can have a quick chat. Collingwood, the last, I feel...
7 or 8 minutes?
Yeah,
10 minutes?
have really ramped up that pressure.
Yeah.
And we spoke about the last goal, got kicked on the back of pressure. And again, just there for that. Every time West Coast seem to get the football now, they're under the pump. Whereas in the first quarter, I mentioned they were getting the ball from inside to outside. Now they're getting it inside, but they can't get it outside.
No, he's spot on. And the other thing is, that little discipline thing you're talking about, there was no need to jump in Dacos' back. And it was only a matter of time. One of the umpires had to pick it up, and we picked it up here. So instead of that ball being a loose football, and I think the Eagles may have had it, they have to give it back. Just the little things.
McCarthy off on a blood rule. Elliot Yeo will take the kick now for the Eagles and gets the ball as far as he can down the Shane Warne stand to the ground. Josh Dacos, though, can pick it off for the Pies. Hand pass to Lipinski. They're all close to the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in at about half forward for Collingwood. They are up by 10 points, kicking the last 2 goals of the game to be able to be in that position. It's a game high, 10 points late in the second term.
We had to rip out quick to make our way to the G from the afternoon fixture. North by 6 points in an amazing comeback, their best comeback in over 20 years. 38 down at halftime, 43 down in the second quarter. So we'll bring you their song at halftime. You'll be able to hear it. We'll leave Boomer's mic on so you can sing along as they work their way through that. The Kangas, a big win over the Suns, so stick around for that, North fans, at half-time. 10-point lead for the Pies. Bailey Williams with the free kick goes long down the wing. More intervention, free kick. In Frampton's way, he'll get it defensive side of the wing, almost at half-back. And retreats all the way back to Howe. And Howe on the switch. An amazing afternoon at the G. Over 90,000 in the house to celebrate Pendlebury's games record, game 4-3-3. His Steele Sidebottom, who's been with him for 333 of those. Handball to Crisp, kicks down the wing, punched away by Tyler Young and out of bounds.
That was good pressure by West Coast there.
Excellent.
It's just holding them up. That's what we've got to do. Got to get those little things right. And Mick, we'll talk about it more at half time, but I've got written on my piece of paper, tidy up the little things. And that's the discipline part, and that's just everything. Fundamentals, discipline, tidy that up. They're in this game.
Ball swung in right in front of our broadcast position. Reid trying to get it to his advantage in the end. Can just fumble its way to Kelly. Kicks it down towards Shanahan, who takes it. Hand pass to Johnson. Hand pass to Champion, who tries to pull the kick. The siren will beat the Eagles. Looking for a late one at half-time. At the main break, it is Collingwood 6-9-45, leading the Eagles 5-5-35. The Pies kicked 4 goals to 2 in that second term and put on consecutive goals, the first side to do so across the game so far. Collingwood ahead by 10 points, a game high 10 points at the main break. The goal kickers so far for the Pies, singles to Roan Steele, Nick Dacos, Ed Allen, Lockie Schultz, Jamie Elliott and Pat Lipinski. And for the Eagles, it's singles as well. Jake Waterman, Elliot Yeo, Brady Hoff, Harvey Johnston and Bailey Williams.
And the Pendlebury watch. Half-time, he's had it 9 times, 2 kicks and 7 hand passes. The other news pre-game is that for all the talk about the gold number and he's going to stand alone in his record-breaking game, when the Magpies made their way up the race, not only Scott Pendlebury with a golden number on his back, but his 22 teammates also have gold numbers today. So a special custom jumper for Pendlebury's milestone game as he joins in a little trot off the ground. Just the other 2 games, so Geelong up against Sydney. It's a 20-point lead for the Cats early in the third term. And earlier today it was the Kangaroos with a goal after the siren, courtesy of Cam Zerhard, to beat the Suns by 6. Off the SMS, Joanna says nothing better than listening to the Pies whilst walking the Camino in Portugal. Congrats to Pendles. Sue, we are listening from London. Hope it's a great game for Pendlebury. Dan from East Perth. Josh Lindsay needs to be spoken about more from a rising star conversation.
He was good. Corbin, he was good that quarter. He had a couple of really good passages there.
I've got a funny feeling he has a rising star.
He got nominated last week, but I think Dan's saying he should be in the conversation to win it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, he's a good player.
He says he's a future Lockie Whitfield. Derek from Dartmoor, who's listening despite being a massive Cats fan. He says a lot has been said about Scott Pendlebury this week, but Boomer Mick Ray, what's something about Pendles in his game that only other players or other coaches or an umpire would know or notice about him that stands out from Derek? So we're looking for a little unique stat. We'll give that one to Ray on notice for the second half, and we might give it to you two on notice too. So stick around, Derek. We'll weave that in the second half. Do you know what I'm sick of as well? I'm sick of all this pity party for Brent Harvey. Do you know what Brent Harvey is without the games record? Without the games record, Brent Harvey has only played 432 games.
How many years?
He's only won an E.J. Whitten medal. He's only won a premiership. He's only won 4 All-Australians, 5 best and fairest, Team of the Century at North Melbourne, Hall of Fame member. I think Brent Harvey's going to be okay without the games record.
And played for Australia.
Jim Stein's medal.
Definitely played for Australia.
Under one of the all-time great coaches, I did.
All this
You're captain.
You made me captain, Mick. We've got a good relationship, me and you.
I don't think Boomer's going to disappear from the history of the game because Scott Pendlebury goes past him today. I think his legacy is secured, and he's with us here on ABC Sport alongside Mick Moldhouse.
Well, on that table, Boomer, that I come back in and I told them the table we're on.
Not a bad table, was it?
Well, you can't be forgotten, mate. You were next to Dusty Fletcher. There was Peter Bergen on the other side here. Michael Tuck in front of you. KV couldn't make it. You'll never be forgotten, mate. I'll give you the tip. Anyone who's watched you play, I always say this, if you have to change the rules to, I don't want to say change the rules, but change a lot of your tactics. Now, KB threw the ball out in front of him. They had changed. They said, no, you can't do that anymore. There was Jimmy Clement, because he used to push Jimmy Hurd under the ball. They said, no, you can't push him in the back. When you kicked off, when the new rule changed, you can kick it yourself and go, you caused the most serious damage to most sides. I reckon that North Melbourne would have scored more from there. You only score in 3 methods, and you would have made them the kick-off kings of getting the ball into their forward line from kickoffs.
Well, that was a Dennis Pagan thing. So, see, he told me when I first started getting tagged and I was struggling a little bit, he said, you have to take the kick out.
Yeah, you can't get tagged to goal square.
Yeah, and you have to kick the ball to yourself, run, a handball, and get it back. And that was one of his tactics, to make me run and get myself into the game. And I was also behind the football running through. I never played back pocket, though. I was still a forward or an on-baller doing that.
What I'm saying about it, I had to have 2 blokes on the mark to force you to kick it and not run with it. And that's fact.
And you know what the other part was? Exactly when you said you can't stop that one. When blokes were tagging you on the mark, you could do that and say, stop that one. They had no hope.
Brent Harvey, Mick Moldhouse, give me your best 60 to 90 seconds on what we've seen in this first half here.
I think it's the pressure by Collingwood.
That's what's got him back in the game, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. But I also like the fact that Cameron is under extreme pressure from a bloke called Williams, who everyone goes, well, who's Williams? Well, he's been around for a while. He is jumping all over him. I think Collingwood have edged in front because of their experience, and the lack of experience is the reason why Eagles aren't in front.
Yep, and we'll have more time, I'm sure, Corbin, later, but tidy up the little things. Yeah, we've seen the discipline stuff, and I'm also talking the fundamentals, but definitely Collingwood's pressure got him back, and I think it's 10 points, is it? That's got him back on the scoreboard here.
They did it well, the Pies, didn't they? The Pendlebury celebration. So comes out of the rooms. The first people he meets are the other members of the 400 Club. And Boomer, you guys were front and centre all week. They did a great job, I think, the AFL and Collingwood, by bringing the rest of you in. It's such an exclusive club. 6 guys in the history of the game to have got to 400. Handshakes with you guys firstly, and then past all his former teammates and friends and family and members and other squad members, and makes his way out onto the ground, and everyone with the gold number on their Collingwood jumper.
Corbin, you know what? It's absolutely unbelievable. And if you don't barrack for Collingwood, usually you hate them. And I'm nearly no different, like a lot of supporters. They have done an unbelievable job, and I've seen it firsthand. I was there Monday. I went into the club and did a voiceover for them. I did other things today, all that sort of stuff. They've got a thing, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's about remembering the past. And Nadine, the lady that I was dealing with, who was phenomenal, not just the Collingwood pass, she was talking about us as the 400 gamers that he's going past and all that sort of stuff. Hats off to them. They have been absolutely superb. And I messaged Scott during the week when just a private thing, but I finished off with saying, you'll never hear me say this again, but go Pies this week.
And it's what they've done, as much as it's a day for Scott Pendlebury, it's a special day for all of us to be part of. I mean, it's a day we'll remember for a long time to come, with over 93,000 in the MCG to see the game's record fall for the fourth time in 46 years. I touched on it earlier. I remember growing up in the 90s and they spoke about Michael Tuck's record like no one would ever get there.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to call Boomer the night that you went past Michael Tuck's record, and I think it was Lindsay Thomas gave you a little one out the back to make sure you got a goal in the milestone game, and that was a special night, as is tonight here 10 years on. And Brent Harvey, we're lucky enough to have him with us, as we are Mick Malthouse at half-time. Unfortunately, some bad news coming through from the Collingwood side of things right before we go to the news. Darcy Moore's out of the game with a hamstring, so he has not been able to have a run at it. So Moore playing in his fourth game for the season. He missed one with concussion. He had a late start to the season with a calf injury. He came back and did a hamstring, and now after having his concussion, he's out with a hammy again, and that is going to be multiple weeks. So Fox Sports just reporting out of the game with a hammy.
His last hammy was bizarre. Remember, he come back on the ground and
I don't like ever judging coaches on moves, because I know what it's like in the box itself. He is not equipped, coming off hamstrings and soft tissue, to be running around the ground
as a ruckman
in a different role, because you have to explode to the next one. It goes out of bounds to the other side. You've got to get across the other side. Key back. You just nosy in front. You can stay 5 yards in front, drop back. I thought they were a victim of he's a victim of them not thinking through it, honestly.
So what's their other option if Darcy?
Well, they've got someone in the
McStay. Ned Long's been doing it.
McStay. How's McStay going? He's hardly touched it. Put him in the ruck.
More from Mick and Boomer coming up. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport. Collingwood by 10 at the half. Pendlebury's had it 9 times, 2 kicks and 7 hand passes. We'll be back here in just a moment. We'll relive the North Melbourne win at Docklands. More from you off the SMS. But for now, let's see what's happening in the ABC newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. A new opinion poll suggests that One Nation could pick up dozens of seats in federal parliament. The poll of more than 6,000 voters by Redbridge and Accent Research shows that if an election was held today, Pauline Hanson's party could win up to 59 lower house seats. It currently holds 2. Political scientist Sean Ratcliffe, who helped produce the polling, says it would mean there'd be a two-party system. There wouldn't be a two-party system.
We see the Labor Party probably winning a majority, but only just, but with a real significant chance of a minority Labor government, and One Nation being the second largest party in Parliament and the official opposition.
Victoria's Premier and Opposition Leader have addressed party faithful at their respective state conferences this morning, making major promises ahead of November's election. Costa Haratos has the details.
Premier Jacinta Allen has pledged to launch a publicly owned apprenticeship academy at a cost of $50 million, which she says will support 2,000 placements over 4 years.
It's the job of Labor governments to change the system for the better.
Meanwhile, Liberal leader Jess Wilson has vowed to ensure a quarter of all infrastructure funding will go to the regions if elected in November.
But my team and I are up for the fight.
Members from both parties will debate policy platforms at their separate events running this weekend. Victorian voters will head to the polls in 6 months.
Chinese state media says the death toll from a gas explosion at a coal mine in Shanxi province in northern China has leapt to 90. The explosion occurred late yesterday while nearly 250 workers were on duty underground. Earlier reports said it had killed 8 people and left 38 trapped underground. Chinese President Xi Jinping has called on authorities to spare no effort in treating the injured and conducting search and rescue operations, while ordering a thorough investigation into the cause of the accident and strict accountability in accordance with the law. Counter-terrorism authorities have charged a Queensland man with extremism offences after a month-long investigation into online activity. Joshua McIntosh reports.
48-year-old Alexander Kent Wadsworth was charged by Queensland's Joint Counter-Terrorism Team after a property in Bowenville, southwest of Dalby, was searched yesterday. Investigators allege Mr Wadsworth uploaded several concerning posts to an encrypted social media site in which he encouraged others to carry out acts of politically motivated violence in Australia and overseas. He's been charged with one count of using a carriage service to menace, harass or cause offence, which carries a maximum penalty of 5 years imprisonment. In a joint statement between Queensland Police, Australian Federal Police and ASIO, the agencies said investigations started earlier this month and are ongoing.
Residents have described rushing to the scene of a crash in Sydney South where 3 people died. Police say they'd been responding to a concern for welfare at a home in Gymea Bay overnight when a man drove from the scene. Officers say that same car later collided with another vehicle at Sans Souci, killing 2 male drivers and a male passenger. This woman, who lives nearby, says about 30 people ran out to help when they heard the crash.
I saw a car on its roof when I came out. Just saw the car on its roof and thought, what? And just ran to the car. And the guy was, not in a good state. And the car was starting to catch fire. So it was, our main priority was put the fire out, I guess.
In a major shake-up of US immigration policy, the Trump administration has announced that most foreigners seeking permanent residency will have to leave the country and apply at an overseas embassy. The BBC's Thomas Becker has more.
The US Immigration Agency says green cards to people already in the country would only be issued in extraordinary circumstances, without going into further detail what this means. It said the new policy reduced the need to find and deport those who'd been denied residency. Immigration lawyers and aid groups say the change is likely to lead to permanent family separations and survivors of trafficking and violence being forced to return to the dangerous countries they fled.
And SpaceX has completed what's described as a largely successful test flight of its next-generation Starship rocket, deploying mock satellites and executing a controlled splashdown in the Indian Ocean. The debut of its newly upgraded vehicle comes ahead of SpaceX's initial public offering next month, expected to be the largest in history. The latest uncrewed launch of Starship, designed to send future crews to the moon and later to Mars, achieved a key milestone for the vehicle. This is ABC News.
We all know the AFL is the greatest game in the country.
We know it's the most skillful, it's the toughest, and it's the most exciting sport there is. From 55, that's a monster bomb! But every year, in the middle of winter, for just 80 minutes,
across 3 Wednesday nights,
we all agree this might be the greatest sporting theatre there is.
He's over! He scored!
How good is Origin?
Oh, it's the best, Louis. It is the best.
There's the big hits.
Oh, bang! That's a big hit.
And the miracle try.
He's over in the corner. Oh, that's miracle stuff.
With a rivalry as heated as any in the world.
With a melee over the touchline. They come from everywhere. This is wild.
State of Origin, Game 1.
Catch every minute live this Wednesday night
On ABC Listen.
And that is unbelievable to watch.
take our word for it, it's sport at its very best.
On ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen. This is Sir Doug Nichols Round with ABC Sport.
Rone Steele decides just to set it up here to the hot spot. They come from all directions. Spills down to Schultz. The opportunistic small forward hooks it through for a goal. And Collingwood retake the lead.
Waterman will line up now. He won't be far out from goal without a 45-degree angle to switch the leads again here at the MCG. His kick is good, and the Eagles are back ahead.
The Eagles by 2 points. Elliot Yeo kicked the first goal of the game, and in the 8 goals since, the leader swung on each of them. McCreary goes long to a contest, over the back. Comes Young, he missed it. Slides through to his direct opponent, Elliot, who goals. He doesn't need a second invitation. And the trend continues. Lead change, number 9.
This is Sir Doug Nichols Round on ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen.
You wouldn't believe the margin here at the G. It's 10, Collingwood's way, and it's all about the number 10 today for the Magpies in Scott Pendlebury as he goes past the all-time games record. He's had 9 to half-time, 2 kicks and 7 hand passes. And Collingwood, his team, up by 10 points. Up to 9 lead changes, as you heard there. The Leafs swung on essentially the first 10 goals of the game. Elliot Yeo kicked the first to give the Eagles a 6-point lead. And then the lead changes for the next 9. And then for the first time in the game, Collingwood kicking the last 2 goals, the only time that any team has kicked back-to-back goals for the afternoon. Corbin Middlemass and Lauren Borden in commentary, Ray Chamberlain on the boundary, the coaching icon Mick Moldhouse, and the man who's played more games than anybody else in the AFL on planet Earth, not named Scott Pendlebury. That's Bren Harvey, and he's with us all season long on ABC Sport. He's got a big smile on his face too, because the Kangas came from 43 down. It's their best second-half comeback in over 20 years. You have to go way back to when they came from 40 down at halftime back in 2005 to find anything in this kind of neighbourhood. 43 down against the Suns to win after the siren as Cam Zurhaar kicked the winning goal. We ripped out a little early to come to the G, so I won't deny you North Melbourne fans. Let's head inside their rooms. This is how they celebrated.
Jack off, let's not make it play. Well, Melbourne, how we come to play. Just recreation, plus my way. Plus my is my first day. So, join in the chorus and sing it one and all. Join in the chorus, North Melbourne on the ball. Good old North Melbourne, the champions will agree. North Melbourne will be Premier Years, just you wait and see.
How about it for North Melbourne after a huge loss to Adelaide last week? They bounced back into the winners list here. It's their best win of the season by far. So previously they'd beaten Port Adelaide in the bottom 3. They had spirited losses against Sydney and GWS, but they break through for the win this afternoon against the Gold Coast Suns. Meanwhile, there's one other game being played. It's down into Cattery. It's a match between Geelong and Sydney. So 9 minutes to go in the third term, and it's Geelong who lead that game by 26 points. So 11-11 leads 8-3. 26-point lead for the Cats in the third quarter. That game is streamed through ABC Listen. We've got about a couple of minutes to go before the start of the second half. So something that jumps out just on Derek's question earlier about something that unique about Scott Pendlebury. It feels like we've had a 4-week run-up and every story of Pendles has just about been told. But what about as an opponent, Boomer? What made him so difficult to try and deal with out there?
I guess the thing that you couldn't tackle him. Like I've said this a number of times this week, but he slows the game up for him. Not for anybody else, because you still think, I've got him, but you haven't. Slows out, holds the football out, you get seduced to it, and then he just casually slides past you and 3 other of your teammates as well. So that was something that always stood out. And then just watching him now over the last 10 years, he brings others into the game, and I think that's a great trait for a player. I think maybe one of the first games I did this year, he had a lot of score involvements, and it was unbelievable. It was just the ball's out, time and space, and that's probably the thing that stands out the most to me.
I mentioned it last week on AFL Saturday that it's almost like Neo in The Matrix, where if you remember the way that film was put together and why it was such a cinematic success is up until that point, essentially they showed superheroes or people going, at ridiculous speed. They showed the world as extremely fast. It was like a flash, like the cartoon Flash, basically. And when The Matrix came along, it showed the world going slowly around him as Neo was kind of moving through it. And that's what I see when I see Scott Pendlebury. That's almost this guy that's kind of, floating through it. He's moving in his own way and at his own speed, and everybody else slows down in his universe. Your thoughts off the SMS. Thanks for another great build-up and call from James from Redbank. Some questions to Mick. Did it cross your mind to do a Ross and return to coaching after the Blues? And what do you think about the Blues merging with the Bombers? Gee, they're fighting words. The Blues and the Bombers merging.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Well, could you imagine the jumper? and you tear Corby apart. He would go to break for.
Pies by 10. Second half underway on ABC Sport with Lauren Borden.
Ball tossed up in the middle, and we'll have a secondary stoppage in the middle as Harley Reid dives on top of Ed Allen. And it'll be another ball up right in the centre of the MCG. Tossed down, a high free kick will be found, and it'll be going the way of Darcy Cameron. Of course, no Darcy Moore out there for the second half, out with a hamstring injury. As Darcy Cameron pops the footy inside forward 50 for the Eagles, and Bazzo's there to intercept it. It's forward 50 for the Pies. Bazzo's then intercepted for the Eagles. Takes it. And passes it backwards to McCarthy. He tries to find Lindsay. Can't quite get there in time. It's punched away by Steele. Hand pass towards Elliott. Chip kick into the left forward pocket, and McStay marks.
Yeah, these are the things that will and probably creep into the game for the rest. The youth of the West Coast side just making an error of judgment in the back 50. This is where, and particularly Collingwood, they hound sides to overuse the ball or don't get outside the 50, and this is what takes place. They're geniuses at it.
McStay now from the left forward pocket to give the Pies the perfect start to the second half. He pops it through. That's 3 in a row to Collingwood, and they push out to a 16-point lead. 7-9-51. The Eagles 5-5-35. Just a minute and a half played in the third term, and Collingwood are out to a game-high 16 points.
I think that kick was okay by the West Coast player. It was the guy receiving the ball, and I'm not sure who it was now. Lindsay, was it? He stopped. Yeah. And then the Collingwood player pressed from behind him. That you've got to go to that football. You don't know what's from behind.
But on the same token, my belief is you kick the ball to a player that if he drops it, he's still got time. Otherwise, it's the wrong decision.
Yeah, I have heard you say that before.
Counts by 32 over the Swans, by the way. That's 7 minutes to go in the third term, so Geelong by 32. Back here, game-high advantage for Collingwood, up by 16. Bailey Williams leaps up, wins the hit-out, and then robes it. Kicks inside 50, hitting up on the lead, Waterman. Frampton breaks it up at the drop. Hoff, handball out to Champion against the boundary line. Tight angle, he's going to float it through. Like the name suggests, Malachi Champion up against the boundary line with a neat finish. 7-9 to 6-5, 2.5 minutes gone in the third term. Deficit back to 10 for the West Coast Eagles. This is Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
And that comes from that player, Williams, who the longer he stays in the ruck and finds the secondary ruckman, if they can organise the secondary ruckman to come up against McStay, against Cameron at some stage, and Williams can play against McStay, anything could take place. Because one thing McStay will not be able to do, go with him if he gets forward. So that's a goal from Williams.
Something about that pocket, Mick?
Oh, what is it? It is if you're a West Coast player.
It was a good finish, though, wasn't it? The ball didn't spin very well. I'll tell you that right now. So didn't come off the boot clean as he would have liked to, but it was a nice finish.
Williams gets the tap out in the middle, right to Darcy Cameron, his opposing ruck. The kick bounces in space at right angles. Reid takes it. He gets taken to the turf by Long. And Long wins the free kick there. Hand passes it to McCreary, who's streaming through centre half forward, and will put the kick right to the top of the goal square for the Pies. McStay went up, couldn't take the mark. Baker's there at the drop, gets tackled by Crisp, and the umpire says mine.
Mick, we've spoken about you've spoken about Williams, and I'm going to speak about Jimby again. They're lucky they've got those two players out there today.
Too right.
Up it goes. Deep forward for the Pies. Nick Dacos has got it. He's tackled. Nice work by Tyler Young. Holds him up. We'll do it all again. Umpire chucks it up right on the behind line. Bailey Williams can't clear it. Darcy Cameron grabs it. Tackled. Just repeating, Darcy Moore out of the game with a hamstring. So fourth game for the year. He just has not had a run at it at all. He's completed one game out of the 4. He's been injured in the other 3. And so he is here with another soft tissue concern. Young's got it, tries to stand up with a footy, tackled, lost it. Says ball up.
Corbin, did you see him do the hammy, or is it?
No.
I didn't see it either. Yeah. So I'm just thinking maybe it's a really tight hammy that, come off at half time and then you saw.
Nick Dacos trying to paddle it to himself, does well to get it on his boot. He just skies the kick, though. It'll bounce just inside the boundary line. McStay can pick it up, hand pass it across to Steele, who'll just have a flying shot at goal. It's a minor score. Collingwood's lead out to 10 points. 7-9-51 playing the Eagles 6-5-41.
Yeah, it's living in the Collingwood forward line at the moment. This is where West Coast inexperience, if they want to muck around with it, they've got to get past that 50-metre line in possession.
McCarthy kicks out to half-back. Reid took the contact on Ed Allen. The ball's continued inside the forward 50. Advantage applied. McCreary's kick centering, trying to get it to Lipinski. Turnover. Young intercepts, gives it away to Baker. Handball to Jimby. Handball to Bazzo on the back flank for West Coast. Hand pass close to the line. Knocked out by Davis and Quaynor on a throw-in half forward for the Pies.
Well, lucky again. It's overuse because sides like Collingwood, Brisbane, Geelong,
they want you to do that.
Oh, they do. They hunt you inside the back 50.
They sweat on it.
Well, the first thing you should know is their modus of operandi. Get the ball out of the back 50 and then make your play.
Ball tossed in. Darcy Cameron goes flying over the footy. So does Josh Dacos. It just fumbles its way inside forward 50 for the Pies. It'll be cleared away only momentarily as Crisp takes it back. Hand passes it to DeGoey. Off a step or two, just slots this through.
In the back against Nick Dacos. Baker.
From 48 metres out, Dugowie has just landed the goal. It's an in-the-back free.
No, he's reversed it because of Gimby.
So Jimby then pushed Dacos.
Well,
it's not a free kick, but it's stupid. Again, it's stupid.
Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know whether it was there. I think there's a bit of mayo put on this.
So Nick Dacos pops the goal through for his second, and now there'll be a few Eagles players coming up to him. Josh Lindsay gets involved. Schultz comes in for the Pies. A few high fives for Nick Dacos. But a goal from Dugowie, that got reversed, and then reversed back to Nick Dacos. And he slots it for the Pies, and they go up by 17 points. 8-10-58, the Eagles 6-5-41. What did you see, Boomer, and all that?
So Dacos pushes Baker in the back on the goal line, which normally doesn't get paid anyway, Mick. You're allowed to pick him up and suplex him if you really want.
Have a look at this. Did you just watch that then, Boomer?
No, I've missed it, but it's going to come on the big screen in a second. So Jimby walks over to Dacos and hits him front on, but not high or nothing.
Nothing high.
It just goes to the ground and gets the free kick.
So
it was off the ball, but it's not a free. If they're going to pay free kicks for that, Mick, blow your whistle all day, because there's 50 of them.
Well, I tell you what, if they're fanning him, they'll fine him for staging.
I'm going back to Ray in just a moment. 17-point lead here for Collingwood. Harley Reid coughs it up in the middle. Collingwood back the other way. Josh Dacos, handball releases side bottom, kicks inside 50 over the intended target. Bursting up, Nick Dacos, clever. Whacks it down to McCreary. Handball to Elliott, tight angle. Elliott, his range is unlimited. It's still in his wheelhouse out there. Right peg against the fence, kicks it from the pocket. And Jamie Elliott with a special finish to send Collingwood further in the lead. 23 points, the Magpies' advantage. New game high, 9-10-64. West Coast, 6-5-41. 8 minutes played in the third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Ray Chamberlain on the boundary.
Yeah, Corb, reflecting on that, you can't fake 432 games experience, Boomer. You're spot on. Jimby and Dacos, they're looking at one another. There's minor contact, and Nick, he does floppy falls. What I will say, though, to Ruben would be you play silly games, you win silly prizes.
That's exactly what happens. There's no need for it.
That's what. And this was, we spoke about this at half time, Boomer. I don't know if it was on air or off air. It was only a matter of time before they got worn down if they didn't pick up that part of their game. And it's so far, it's happened.
From the middle, it's Pendlebury who puts the kick out wide to the wing and will pounce high. Lipinski does well to paddle it away to side bottom, who's in a battle with Marek to get the kick away. Just gets a little one over his head. Back to Pendlebury, who hand passes it away to centre wing. Comes off the shin of Duggan. He gets it as far as Bailey Williams, who taps it to Kelly. Hand passes Duggan under some pressure, but can hand pass it across to Dersma. Further flicks it to Davis. His kick will be chopped off easily by Jeremy Howe. And the Pies will have it at half-back.
23 points. Collingwood have now kicked 5 of the last 6 if you trace it back. Howe to side bottom, who marks on the wing, kicks laterally to Darcy Cameron. Handball away to Josh Dacos, who's off and running, kicks out to half forward, and in the hole, Hayes stands there, takes the mark, rides the contact, moves it on to Nick Dacos. Dacos from outside 50, high bomb to the goal square. Big leap, Waterman, can't intercept, spills down Collingwood's way. Elliott's got it again. He doubles up. 2 in a minute for Jamie Elliott. He's got 3 for the day. And hot pies at the G. It's Collingwood who are on a run now. 6 of the last 7. Collingwood 10-10. The Eagles are 6-5. The Pies by a new game high, 29 points, 10 played in the third. Brent Harvey and Mick Malthouse on ABC Sport.
Well, Boomer, one of the first things you're taught as a backline player, don't take a chance. Punch the ball through. If there's any doubt, unless you are totally clear that you're going to mark the football. That is an attempted mark, and you guess what? You pay a penalty.
You know who it was? It was the full forward. That was Waterman. I'm not sure why he was down there, but...
because they fancy themselves as markers. Reality-wise is play the percentages. The game is a game of percentages, so play the percentages.
I'll take you back a little bit too, Mick. Murdoch, I think it was. It tried to kick a 50-50.
Yeah.
When you're 70 out, there's nothing wrong going to a contest top of the square.
So from the centre ball up, it'll be a free kick to the Eagles. And we'll be going to Tim Kelly. Pies up by 10 points at half-time. Now they're up by 29 points in this third term. The kick comes inside forward 50 for the Eagles. It's tapped away by Maynard, who tried to clear it. Champions on the end of it, though. He hand passes it away, and then it'll come back to him. Can pop it outside of attacking 50. And he's found Duggan, who can reset from this moment.
He's not a great kick, Duggan. His decision-making is not all that great either.
Duggan 60 metres out from goal, pops it into the left forward pocket. Darcy Cameron.
Say no more.
Comes lumbering in.
On cue, Mick.
Oh, well. There was one Eagle player there and 3 Collingwood players. Guess what? That's not playing the odds.
It's his opposite number, Darcy Cameron, in the back pocket. Oh, kick is wayward and out on the full.
Well, he's generally a good kick. Interesting to see who goes in the second ruck. I'm really interested to see who will do that second ruck work, Boomer.
For the Pies?
Yeah.
Marrick decides just to lay it up here to the hot spot. Bailey Williams in the pack. Cameron punches it away once. Second time knocked on there by Maynard. Still no clean takeaway, and Hamish Davis tackled with the footy. Says I'll have it. Ball up. Centre half forward for the Eagles. Collingwood by 29. They've got away from the visitors.
Bailey Williams again rises high. Says a holding free kick to the Eagles.
I'm intrigued by Waterman playing as a loose behind the ball. He just seems to have now come away from the forward line, just standing in behind the ball. I don't know whether that's because he can't get a kick in the forward line, or they're just trying to seal the game, or just trying to stop the run a little bit. It's the only thing I can think of, that they're just trying to perhaps plug the gap.
Millen Murdoch running in now, releases the kick from 45 metres out, and the kick is good. He breaks a run of 3 consecutive Collingwood goals and brings back the margin to 23 points to the advantage of the Pies. Collingwood 10-10-70. The Eagles 7-5-47. 13 minutes played in the third term.
So that's a 6th goal for the quarter in 13 minutes of football.
Yeah.
So they're hitting the scoreboard. To answer your question, Mick, I think McStay's the obvious one that could go in the ruck for the Pies.
That's one.
And the reason that Waterman, I think, would go behind the football is exactly what you said. Steady if the opposition, and some teams have, if the opposition kick 2 in a row, it could be 3 in a short period.
Yep.
Let's have a plan. And it looked like their plan there. But the only problem that is, Collingwood have got to spare up the other end, and that's where they get all their score launches from.
Exactly so.
I wouldn't be giving Collingwood a spare by any stretch of imagination.
No.
Milan Murdoch, one of 9 Eagles out here for the first time at the G today. Yo decided to knock it clear straight to Nick Dacos, kicks it forward, turns it over. And Bo Allen takes the mark at half-back.
Nice mark, that. Oh, he used to play on son from there.
He goes wide with a kick to Duggan.
Yeah, see, Duggan then, he was already in front of the ball. He should have kept on going, and you catch your opposition one-on-one. Yes. Now he's just down there.
Long contest kick to the wing, almost landed in the lap of Waterman. Spills out towards Hoff. He's tackled. Says ball up.
He's had a good day, Waterman.
Southern wing.
What's he had, Mick? Well, if that was a pie, he'd have it all over him. Not much.
23-point lead for the Pies. Wrestling it free. Darcy Cameron got a handball out to Nick Dacos. Handball picked up by Davis on the bottom of that. Ball up on the southern wing.
Waterman, 6 possessions, 1 goal.
More than 90,000 in the house at the MCG today as Darcy Cameron takes it, kicks it down to McStay, who barges through and marks ahead of Ginbey. McStay will have it just forward of centre wing. Can put it into the left forward pocket. No mark can be taken by Long. It spills out the back to Tom McCarthy, who weaves this onto his right boot. Curls a footy outside of defensive 50. It works well for Hoff, who juggles the mark and holds on to it at right half back for the Eagles.
Now, he might have to go up the line here. It's not a bad result if he does, because it will be a contest near the boundary line.
Eagles down by 23 points. He goes and does that, goes right down the wing. Waterman's at the back, just tries to soccer it away. Dersmer in the end can pick it up. He's dispossessed of the footy. Steele takes it. He's brought to ground and will have a ball up just forward of centre wing to the Eagles' advantage. It's Collingwood leading by 23 points, 15 minutes played in the third term.
Get it going back the other way. The kick forward for the Pies, almost out of play on the kick from the Eagle. It was, in fact.
I'll just jump in if I can just say, the second ruck for the Eagles is getting smashed unbelievably. Is that Williams as well, young Williams?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's got to take front position. At the moment, because of his size, he's trying to get him behind. He's just getting absolutely whacked.
It was last touch by the Pies, so it was an Eagles free kick, and they're going to take it. As Jimby goes back, and then they eventually go forward. Dersma's got it, middle of the ground. Spots up Baker. And now they go laterally. And the kick comes out to McCarthy. He's come up out of the back 6. Marks on the wing. Kicks wide for Marrick. And he marks right on the 50. So left half forward Ryan Marrick with it. He's another top pick out of the mid-season draft. Up on Tuesday. And while Maynard works out where the mark is, he arcs around to his right, drives it to the goal square, hands on a Waterman, no mark. Davis fumbles in the pocket and the ball spills out of play. Boundary throw-in forward pocket for the West Coast Eagles, or Woolwich Marrawa as they are in Sir Doug Nicholls' round. Andrew Beck, by the way, designing the jumper. Gee, looks good. Big striking eagle on the front of it, the Woolwich. So that's the West Coast Eagles jumper that they've worn for last week and this week.
Flicked in, Jack Williams palms it down to Johnston, and he's wrapped up by a few pies, and we'll have another ball up.
Got a different setup. Is Elliot Yeo the man behind the ball now for the Eagles?
Well, he's better because he run the ball.
So Cameron palms it down. Crisp will be the player to clear it for the Pies towards a one-on-one. Jimby and McStay have been standing next to each other all day. They both get a hand to it and punch it away, and it'll be a throw-in at centre-half back for the Pies. Right below the stand, bearing the name of Shane Warne, will be tossed back in by Ian Burrows in his 450th game as a boundary umpire. It's brought in. There's a whistle on the throw-in.
Is it the ruck? Oh, no, it looks like Dacos might have been held, wasn't it?
No, ruckman.
Oh.
Just a hand over the shoulder, it looked like from here.
Yeah, there's that young ruckman again, just not really adjusting.
So Darcy Cameron gets the free kick against Jack Williams, moves it to De Goey, hand pass to Maynard, flicks it back in the centre to McCreary, who's right in the middle of the MCG. He flares it out wide to right half forward. Lipinski takes it, moves it on to Nick Dacos, wants to square up the kick. No mark can be taken. It spills to ground, still inside forward 50 for the Pies. Players will all dive on top of it, and the ball will be locked in where it lands. It's Collingwood ahead by 23 points, 18 minutes played in the third.
Collingwood have used their brains here. They've kept Cameron on when Williams has come off, so he gets the young fella now.
Jack Williams grabs it out of the ruck. Hurried kick forward, taken by Johnston. Umpire said not the required range, so keeps it moving, and that's a panic kick out of there. 2 Pies back, and Maynard takes the intercept mark.
It's a poor setup, though, by the West Coast Eagles. He won the ball. He wanted to go forward. He looked up. He sort of went sideways a little bit, only because he had to.
Well, it was nothing there, Boomer.
Zero. Not one player to kick to.
So you've got to keep a box in front of it. Now, a box, for those outside, that's 4 players in front of the ball so they can go in any direction. He had nothing in front of him.
A short kicking game to the Dacos brothers, and now a little chip kick to Crisp.
Yeah, it's very poor.
The southern boundary line right on halfway. Jack Crisp down to half forward, arriving through Tyler Young, punches it out of bounds. So half forward for the Pies. Collingwood by 23. 19 gone in the third term. 10-10 plays 7-5. Pendlebury watch. He's up to 12 disposals. So he's kicked it 3 times, had 9 hand passes. Meanwhile, in Geelong, just about to start the final term there. It's Geelong by 14 points over Sydney. So good one going down in the Pivot City. Call available. You can stream that through ABC Listen, but the Cats by 14 points.
Toss back in at half forward for the Pies. Steele runs onto it and then runs into a brick wall of West Coast players. Another ball up at the top of the 50 for the Pies. Cameron, little tap out towards Pendlebury, soccers it away, puts it into some space. Dersma can paddle it away and outside of defensive 50. Maynard's there, collects, tries to kick, gets a fresh airy. Dersma's in there again to collect the footy. He gets taken to the turf. Might have been high, not quite. The umpire says play on. And in the end, there's about 8 players that dive on top of the footy at centre-half forward for the Pies, and we'll have another ball up. Collingwood ahead by 23, third term.
Yeah, Darcy Cameron's had 11 so far this quarter. He's had a giant quarter.
Harley Reid just having a little moment with Andrew McQualter, sitting on the pine at the moment. His fellow number 1 pick, Dersma, wins the footy here. Pumps it forward to a one-on-one. Frampton spoils into the path of Murdoch. Tumbles a kick to centre-half forward. Picked up by Waterman. Flares a handball to Yeo. Yeo's got Johnston on. Decides to go himself and misses.
Yeah, poor finish.
Little forward handball.
Poor finish by a very experienced player.
Yeah, it was on. If you burn him, Corbin, live and die by the sword, you've got to kick it.
You've got to kick it off.
That's simple. No one says anything if you don't kick it. That will be on their review on Monday.
Pies by 22, time on third term.
Jeremy Howe takes the kick in and launches it out of defensive 50 to a pack forming. Schultz tries to paddle it in. He's corralled over the boundary line by McCarthy, and we'll have a throw in just to the left of the West Coast Eagles bench.
That's Harley Reid chat with Andrew McQualter. Sort of reminded me of being back in school when the teacher just sits you down and says, now, Corbin. just need you to bargain with me here and just stop talking in the back of the class. So I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Felt like one of those kind of chats.
Well, he's had one hand pass for the quarter.
Yeah.
We've only 8 minutes left.
Schultz dives on top of the footy, gets a hand pass away. Lindsay takes it and he's tackled over the boundary. And it'll be another ball in right at the interchange gates. Or a ball up, rather. So tossed in about a metre inside from the boundary line. Long tried to grab it. In went Schultz. Again, he's on the turf. And again, he gets tackled. This time he's locked up. And we'll have a throw up about centre wing. Collingwood ahead by 22 points. 21 minutes now played in the third.
Keen to get Ray's Pendlebury story as well. A question from Derek about what sets him apart. I'm getting something special from each of our guys. We've had Boomer's story. We've had lots from Mick, it must be said, over the last night and today. You smacked Pendlebury out. You told every Pendlebury story you've got.
I don't want to be because he deserves everything, but there's not much. And now the next part is to make it up.
Off kicks inside the forward 50. No mark, spills down towards Jack Williams. Handball away towards Lindsay. Kicks inside 50 and Frampton takes the intercept mark. What have you got for us, Ray?
Well, as you'd imagine, over 20 years, there's been the odd rule change, Corb, and with the umpires, you go out in pre-season and you do a lot of work with the clubs, and you can find yourself sitting around a lot of blokes who jump in the whingers bucket, but never Scott. He was always curious. He wanted to understand the context, what we're after, but quite legitimately because he'd go away powered with the knowledge and then know how to apply and have advantage.
How come he didn't win a Brownlow?
That's another question, Mick, for another time, I would have thought. But, we'll talk about the Brownlow at the end of the year, mate.
West Coast take advantage with the kick at centre wing. Inside 50 they go via the Josh Lindsay kick. It gets kicked back out by the Pies defence. And Josh Lindsay's there to clean up. So he's now got the footy. He's 70 metres out from goal. The kick is an absolute shocker. He tried to do too much with it. And in the end, basically dished the footy off to Beau McCreary, who moves it to Long, and it's the Pies moving it through the centre of the MCG. Quick bunch of hand passes, gets it to McCreary. He can pop it inside forward 50. It's Elliott running back, desperate to try and get the goal, to try and get the ball. He darts back to try and pick it up. In the end, he's doing the tackling on Hoff, locks up the Eagle, and the umpire circles and then says he'll ball it up.
You're in the Blues in 13, Mick. Is that your first year at Carlton?
Yes, I was.
Yep.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
12 out of the game and then 13 at the Blues.
That's right, yep.
That's when Pendlebury won the Coaches Award, so you voted for him one year. So,
well, he probably well deserved it all.
Yeah, there you go. You had him on top, so it's just those pesky umpires that weren't able to get him over the line with the Brownlow. And here's one here, Ray Chamberlain.
Yeah, he's been a bit hard done by. He's only had about 225 career votes. He'd be feeling stiff.
Well, Paddy Cripps had that 1 year.
Chris to full forward, spills down to DeGoey. DeGoey hooks a kick goalward and it's punched on the line from behind. Before that, there was a whole lot of back and forth, so he didn't miss anything out here. 24 minutes gone in the third term. It's Collingwood who lead this game by 20... Is it behind gone on the board? No, 23 points. Now it has. 10-11 to 7-6. Pies by 23, 24 gone in the third.
Russia goals to start the third term, and then they've just dried up in the last 10 minutes or so. As Cole takes the mark outside of defensive 50. His kick, though, isn't great to centre-half back. Hoff, though, can do something with it, grab it, and kick it out towards centre wing where Davis is all alone for the Eagles. Little dribbly kick forward. Johnson takes it on the half volley but has some space to recover. And chip it to Kelly, who wants to play on, puts it on his boot here. It's a flat kick going inside forward 50 and it works.
Beautiful kick. Well, it was... I would love to capture that camera shot there when that ball hit Elliott Yeo's hands. I reckon he's surrounded by 5 Collingwood players. Now, I'm not 100% sure the kick was as good as the fact that it hit the target. But what it does show you, lack of work ethic by the Eagles getting back. Collingwood got back. I know it's a mark.
Yep.
But
I don't understand.
Yeah.
They were outnumbering, weren't they? Collingwood by a long shot.
Absolutely.
So Elliott Yeo emerged with the footy. He'll take a kick from 30 metres out. It's home. It's his second. And it's the Eagles' second in a row in this third term. Means the margin 17 points to the advantage of Collingwood. Just keeping the Eagles in this match. The Eagles are 8-6-54. The Pies 10-11-71. 25 minutes played in the third term. Your ABC Sport experts, Mick Malthouse and Boomer Harvey.
They're just still there, aren't they, Mick? They're just not going away. Another goal from Collingwood, I thought then. would have broken Eagles' back. So that's a really, really important goal. But I thought it was an excellent kick. He looked up. And
no, don't get me wrong.
No, he looked up. He had to change his kick.
Had to.
Because they were so outnumbered.
Absolutely.
He pulled the kick in. What he'd done, he put it to where Yo had to go to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he put it where Yo was going, he wasn't getting there.
There was that many. I couldn't believe how many Collingwood players were around him. That just shows it's either lack of work ethic or they're trying to save the game, but they're not in front of.
Back in the middle, Nick Dacos, first disposal from the Bailey Williams hit out. Handball away towards De Goey. Kicks to full forward. Long crashes the pack. No mark. Ball hits the deck. Scrap on. Hayes got it out. Back to Long for the Pies. Turnover. Bowen intercepts. Handball away to Duggan. Runs out of play. Ump says boundary throw in. 35 metres out from the Pies goal. Ray Chamberlain on the boundary.
Yeah, a couple of things, Corb. Scott Pendlebury's just headed downstairs. Doesn't look to be in any distress, but I'll give you an update as it comes to hand. And for Mick, you know that Scott Pendlebury's got the most votes of any player in the history of the game not to win a Brownlow, and his best was 24 votes in 2011, Mick, and I know you can tell me what was important about that year.
Well, if we didn't quite... So I'm blaming you for he didn't win it.
Dane Swan won it, mate. So how about you settle down up there?
That's right.
Long kick down the wing. The Eagles quickly work it from the stoppage down to half forward. Picked up by Jack Williams, trying to get a hand free. Does so. Feeds it to Murdoch inside 50. Big tackle to Goey. Got a handball away, Murdoch. Back out in front of Jack Williams. Handball to Yo. Tackled, dispossessed. They've just got a hand pass back inside 50 to Nick Dacos. He turns it over. Murdoch, handball back the other way to his teammate Cole. Drilled in the tackle, ball up half forward for the Eagles.
Well, they haven't gone away, have they?
No,
they can be very proud of their efforts so far. What they've got to do now is stay in touch.
Oh, free kick, Pies by 17, by the way. 27.5 gone in the third term. What happened there, Loz?
I didn't see it. I had the binoculars out and I still didn't pick that one up.
There's a umpire comes in. He was the out-of-zone umpire to say free kick for Quaynor, so we never got the restart.
Doing much at the time. So Isaac Quaynor takes the free kick, kicks right down the wing. It'll be a turnover here as McCarthy steals it back for the Eagles. Hand pass to Young. Hand pass to Harley Reid. Pops the kick inside forward 50. It'll work in the end. Jack Williams spins around the full 360. Will put it on his left boot. He doesn't put much on the kick. And it's the perfect idea as champion marks.
So that's 50 metres, you know.
Well, the umpire signalled in the back, but he marked it.
Yeah.
So he's marked it, then he's been pushed in the back. The letter of the law. Razor, I'm not sure what you would have thought then, but...
No, eagle eye there from you, Boomer, but what he needs is a delay between the mark and the push in the back to warrant a 50. So just the free kick.
Doesn't matter anyway. Champion slots it. He brings up his second goal for the afternoon again, like Elliot Yeo did a few moments ago. And the margin that Collingwood is leading by is cut back to 11. 28 minutes played in the third term, and the Eagles are well and truly in touch here at the MCG. West Coast 9-6-60, Collingwood 10-11-71.
Is that 3 in a row, Loz?
Yeah.
3 in a row.
Hadn't kicked back-to-back goals all day. Now they've got 3 in a row.
On the back of Collingwood's 3 in a row?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Pendlebury's back on the ground, by the way. Did he have any tags on his jumper, Ray, when he ran back out there?
Just look unbelievable. Got the gold soles. They're doing plenty.
Maybe he changed his boots downstairs.
I reckon it was a tyre change, Mick, for sure.
Looks like they haven't got the artwork on them. His two kids, Jackson, Darcy, both designed the artwork on a set of his boots, so he's got different ones on at the moment, and he's tackling Reid in the middle of the ground, and might have just busted a digit and all of that too as he runs away holding his hand. Restart back in the middle. Bailey Williams grabs it out of the ruck. High up and under to half forward. Maynard back with courage. Couldn't complete the mark. Volleyed forward out of midair by Murdoch. Scooped up by Bowen. Inside 50 for the Eagles. Hand pass back to Murdoch along the 50 line to Hoff. Tackled straight away. Attracts a crowd and a ball up. Half forward for the Eagles. They've got a pep in their step here. And the lads under the name of Wallach Marawa during Sir Doug Nicholls' round, the West Coast Eagles. They've kicked the last 3 in the game after falling 29 behind. It's Collingwood by 11.
And from the ball up, it's Dersma that takes it, just skies the footy into the centre of the attacking 50. A holding free kick. Going the way of the Eagles.
Yeah, he set himself up for the mark. Oh, I tell you what, not sure. He got grabbed, but I'm not 100% sure it interfered with the play. Interesting again, we'll see what Razor says, but he put himself in a good position to mark that.
This is Ryan Marrick, who wins the free kick.
He's a Gippy boy too. I think they got him midway through. Yeah.
Yep. So Gippsland Way, which is obviously where Scott Pendlebury's from. He's from Sale. They're about an hour apart between where Marrick's from and where Pendlebury's from. But Marrick wants to spoil Pendlebury's party this afternoon. He skips over the pane of 50, directly in front of goal. Puts it offline to the left. The margin, though, cut back to 10 points. 31 minutes played in this third term. Still a little bit left after quite a few goals so far.
Yeah. Well, 4-2 each this quarter.
Back to 10 points, as we were at half-time, which makes sense, as Mick said, if it's 4-2 each for the quarter. Houston goes short to the back pocket for Howe.
They want to keep that number 10 alive.
Yes.
Really.
It's big on numerology today as Howe goes long down the wing. Bailey Williams spoils it down to Gully for the Pies. Hand pass back inboard. There's a free kick for a hold. It's a Collingwood free. It's DeGoey tackled after getting rid of it. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Corbin Middlemass, Lauren Borden, Ray Chamberlain, Brent Harvey, Mick Moldhouse, your call team. DeGoey down the line. And Schultz takes it eventually on his chest. That's a juggled chest mark. 32 minutes gone in the third term. Still a hot minute left in the term. Kicks inside the forward 50. McCarthy running out after it. 3 Eagles spill it. Bazzo can't mark. Spills to West, who hooks it across the body and misses.
Didn't look very comfortable on his left there, did he?
He
dropped it with his right hand, kicked it with his left around his body.
Charlie West to the behind. It's an 11-point lead for Collingwood.
They're really vulnerable when that ball goes in high and it hits the deck. There's so many players are attracted to the football. They really have got to get that organised, don't they? The ground coverage is pretty poor.
McCarthy chips it to Lindsay in the back pocket. He launches it on his boot and Howe rises and Howe pulls it down. He's been doing that throughout the afternoon. And the trademark of Jeremy Howe.
How does he do that so often and with ease? It just looks easy.
He pulls in the mark and he puts the Pies back inside 50. A contest. It's tapped over the line. It'll be a throw-in inside forward 50 for Collingwood. He's been threatening all day to do that, Jeremy Howe. And in the third quarter, he grabs the mark, pulls it in and holds on to it.
Trademark's the term, isn't it? Just, that such a natural leap and like springs in his boots. And gets up there, Jeremy Howe, effortlessly. The boundary throw-in, half forward for the Pies. Quaynor hits it at speed. Outskirts of the stoppage. Handball inside 50. Hayes wrong-footed, taken by McCarthy. The Eagles off half-back. Handball to Champion. Handball to Murdoch. Fumbled, cost him. Picked up, tackled by Sidebottom. Spills to Lipinski. Handball out to Quaynor as time expires. On the third term, we got 1 to go at the MCG in the Pendlebury milestone game. He's had it 13 times. Scott Pendlebury, 4 kicks and 9 hand passes. All his teammates joining him with a gold number on their back. So we knew about Pendlebury with the golden number 10, and the surprise pre-game was that his 22 teammates would also have golden numbers to celebrate the occasion as Scott Pendlebury becomes the first man in AFL history to play 453 games. Collingwood by 11 points. Now they win the quarter by 1, 10-12 over West Coast 9-7. The goal kickers. 3 for Elliott, 2 for Nick Dacos, and then singles for Lipinski, Schultz, McStay, Ed Allen and Roan Steele. Meanwhile, for the West Coast Eagles, put down 2 for Yo, 2 for Champion, and then singles for Waterman, Hoff, Johnston, Bailey Williams and Milan Murdoch. Off the SMS, Greg's from Heidelberg wants to know why Mick McGuan's name's not in the mix for the Carlton job. Fran says, thanks for the call. How fortuitous to have Mick and Boomer with the special comments, making this all the more exciting. Appreciate that, Fran. It's almost like we strategically designed.
Yeah, someone definitely thought of that.
I was about to say, it's almost too good to be true to think that we got the coaching games record holder and the man who's played more games than anybody else but Pendles in Brent Harvey with us on ABC Sport. Brendan from Hobart. Nick, did you know hit gold with Thomas, or did you know that you'd hit gold with Thomas and Pendlebury after the draft?
Very confident about Daisy.
Yep.
And backing Derek's thinking that Pendlebury would adjust from the basketball and football and be a reasonable player for us. 20 years later, Derek
he got it right.
Derek, our recruiting manager, got it totally right.
That's shrewd recruiting. It's a pretty good draft, by the way. Our own Mark Murphy went number 1. I was asking him about his draft class the other day, and he said, "Yeah, did you know that?" He thought I was implying somehow that Carlton got it wrong. I thought played 300 games and captained the club. I think they got out okay, Carlton, with what they got for the number one pick. I certainly wasn't implying that, but
no.
What a draft that year was able to produce. Collingwood by 11 points. More from Mick and Boomer coming up next. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
This is going to be quite a ride.
Every dream restoration starts with something worth holding on to.
We were in love. We figured we'd work it out.
Restoration Australia.
This is magnificent.
Stream all the episodes now on ABC iView. On ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen. This is Sir Doug Nichols Round with ABC Sport.
Josh Dacos, handball releases side bottom, kicks inside 50 over the intended target. Bursting up Nick Dacos, clever, whacks it down to McCreary. Handball to Elliott, tight angle. Elliott, his range is unlimited. It's still in his wheelhouse out there. Right peg against the fence, kicks it from the pocket, moves it on to Nick Dacos. Dacos from outside 50, high bomb to the goal square. Big leap Waterman, can't intercept, spills down Collingwood's way. Elliott's got it again. He doubles up. 2 in a minute for Jamie Elliott. He's got 3 for the day. And hot pies at the G. It's Collingwood who are on a run now. 6 of the last 7.
It'll work in the end. Jack Williams spins around in a full 360. Will put it on his left boot. He doesn't put much on the kick. And it's the perfect idea as champion marks.
So he's 50 metres, you know.
Well, the umpire signalled in the back, but he marked it.
Doesn't matter anyway. Champion slots it. He brings up his second goal for the afternoon. And the margin that Collingwood is leading by is cut back to 11.
This is Sir Doug Nichols Round on ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen.
Sounds there from the third quarter. Game opening up. Collingwood by 11 points in the Pendlebury milestone game. Meanwhile, Geelong over Sydney. So 9 minutes to go in the final quarter there. Cats on top. They led at 15-15 over Sydney, 12-7. So the margin 26 points in favour of the Cats with less than half a quarter to play. Our next stop is over in Adelaide for Saturday night footy. So much build-up, of course, here at the G for the Pendlebury game. But their arch-rival Carlton are in Adelaide tonight to take on the Power. Aaron Bryan's heading up the call.
Corby, it doesn't sound as exciting when you say 14th versus 16th, but there is plenty at stake tonight optically in the Josh-off. We've got Josh Carr's Power, who have lost 5 of their last 6 by an average of 9 points. So all of those courageous efforts just starting to lose their charm. So we'll see if they can at least get some reward for effort tonight. Meanwhile, Josh Fraser's Blues, they're keen to prove that last week's fairy tale wasn't just a new coach bounce, but in the last decade, coaching changes that have happened in the mid-season have resulted in a 4-11 record in their second game. So we'll see if that emotion can carry over from last week. The Blues are going to lose 470 games of experience for just 15 tonight. 3 changes for them, so Wiedering, Hollands and Williams out. And the Power set to unleash former club leading goal kicker Todd Marshall as a forward once again. He started the year down back and now gets a crack up front. There are no late changes. Star-started lineup for you as well. We've got the South Australian Hall of Famer Stephen Williams, our 7-time All-Australian, 3-time Premiership Crow Ebony Marinoff as well. Tom Wilson to call the action alongside me. Should be a fun night. Yardapulti and Carlton up next, Corbs, on ABC Sport.
Thanks, Aaron. Looking forward to that. Standalone Saturday night fixture. Earlier today, North Melbourne by 6 points. And they kicked the goal after the siren to win it through Cam Zerha after falling 43 points behind. Just to tie a bow on our conversation earlier in the afternoon, Luke Ball made it. So there was a lot of talk about Luke Ball leaving early from the broadcast at Docklands. He was here. Now, I asked him if he got here in time. He just sent me a video that he'd shot as is customary. Everybody in the Guard of Honour. You were one of the only people, Boomer, that wasn't filming on their phone. But Bally got a video as Pendles ran out onto the ground. So nice for him to be here for that.
I took a little selfie just out in the wing there with the coin and took a little selfie with the crowd behind me. I tried to get you guys in there. That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
I'll zoom in tonight and have a look at it.
I was smiling in the background.
And Pendlebury has gone the half back for the start of this last quarter.
Okay, final term underway. It's still game on. Just an 11-point lead for Collingwood after they led by as many as 29. Yo with the first disposal of this final term. Kicks to full forward. Ball spills down underneath Harvey Johnston. He's tackled. We'll have the ball up. So the Eagles with momentum late in that third term. They've kicked the last 3 goals of the game. Comes down to Murdoch. Murdoch handball to Yo. Shoots goalward. Misses. From behind. So the first score of the final term is a minor score for the West Coast Eagles. 10-point lead for Collingwood. As we've said a number of times, 10 the magic number, and here he is, the Collingwood number 10, about to take the kick out.
Standing in the goal square, spinning the footy around. Most of the crowd here with 433 cardboard signs that they've been holding up throughout the afternoon. He kicks it out and he finds McStay.
Yeah, it's a good mark, McStay. They needed that to stand up. That was always going to be a long kick in.
Left half back for the Pies, goes right down the line. McCreary might come in here. He's in a battle with McCarthy. In the end, none of them win it. It bounces its way along the boundary line. It's still in play. Long gets a little hand to it with Young running alongside him.
It hasn't been a big day, has it, for Pendle? So 14 to... Well, it's been a big day, there's no doubt about that. Game-wise.
It's been pretty average, yeah.
So 14 disposals, 5 kicks.
And he's kicked in 2 or 3 times. I just think that the effort to actually play, imagine what he's been under this week.
Darcy Cameron from the throw-in puts the ball inside forward 50. For the Blues, it'll be locked up and a ball up. But
speaking from experience, it is exhausting the whole week.
Yeah.
The whole week.
And I reckon,
and all you're worried about...
Disrespect for you, Collingwood's effort to ease it, but it's been going for 2 or 3 weeks. So it has to be a load up.
Can you remember how you went, Boomer, in the record-breaking game?
Oh, no, I kicked the goal.
Yeah.
Because Lindsay Thomas had the ball 3 metres out from goal and handball to me from a set shot. So, no, I think I might look that up in the background over here while you guys are working.
Free kick here going Collingwood's way. Howe takes it. Last disposal out of play. So kicks the Pies inside 50. Floating across the front. McCarthy spoils, but to a dangerous position. Picked up by Josh Dacos. Centre half forward for the Pies. To Elliott. Handball to Steele. Roan Steele hooks it through for a goal.
Big goal. Big goal.
And there's a tone setter to start the final term. Roan Steele bending it through for his second. And Collingwood 11-12-78, West Coast 9-8-62, a 16-point lead for the Pies. Early stages in the final term. This is Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Mick, the Eagles are right there. They've done a lot right today, but it's just those little tiny mistakes, and there was a couple there, just being not clean, picking up the ball.
2 at one player.
Yeah, just little things, missed tackles.
Yeah.
Just tiny little things.
It's not much, is it? It's a difference between a goal and not a goal.
And it's the teams that make the least amount of mistakes usually win the game.
Oh, that's come from the playbook of Len Smith.
Right, okay. Well, I haven't read that book, but we're on the same page, which is nice.
You are.
But that's how it works.
Yes.
And the Eagles have made more basic errors than Collingwood today, hence why they're up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I agree.
Back in the middle, Bailey Williams rips it out of the ruck himself. He kicks to half forward for the Eagles. Pendlebury can just get a little hand pass away. Nick Dacos will go chasing after it, soccers it away.
It's a good mark. That's gone like a rocket.
It raced away, and Tom McCarthy got there first and intercepts it for the Eagles. Just puts the kick out wide, and Davis will mark. Just forward of centre wing for the Eagles, now trailing by 16 points. Down by 11 points at three-quarter time. Davis launches the kick right to the top of the 50. Jack Williams was there, brings it down to ground. Little tap away from Murdoch. Pushes it through the legs of Yo. In the end, it comes out the back. Reed's there, just keeps it in. Weaves around 3 players, can get the hand pass away. It's picked off by Josh Dacos. He hand passes it out wide. West Coast Eagles players almost want to see it over the line. It bounces back in. And then Davis has to put the kick inside forward 50. It's a turnover and Degoe marks.
That's a difference again. Collingwood get players back in good position for that loose ball coming back in because they work hard behind the ball.
To go into the wing, no mark, spills down to Reed, free kick, shove, Collingwood's free. And Long pushed out of position in all of that. 4.5 gone final term, 16-point lead for the Magpies. Hand pass to Houston, Long down the wing, and Jindy floats through, picks it off for the Eagles.
I like watching this guy play. He's good.
He's got the old school Dermot Brereton do as he kicks laterally. Eventually got to Baker, touched on the way through. Live footy for the Eagles. Young to McCarthy and now to Jinby. One back flank to the other. Swings it out there to Bo Allen and chips it further afield to Marrick. Cats are going to beat the Swans, so 27-point lead for Geelong. Waning moments as Marrick tried to straighten up, almost turns it over. Bazzo trying to calm it down. Handball back to Marrick. The Eagles are a little unorganised here. Short kick finds Bo Allen. He chips it down the boundary line on that southern side, and Harvey Johnston takes the mark.
Done that so many times. They wait for the ball to come to him.
Yeah, they do.
Take a couple of steps forward. Make sure it's your ball.
Little chip inboard to Marrick.
Absolutely.
Moves it into the centre square where Kelly will mark.
It's the fundamentals, Boomer.
He then switches it to Young, who hand passes it to McCarthy, who's running to half forward, gets taken down in the tackle by McCreary, swung to the turf, and Bo McCreary wins the free kick for Collingwood.
So there's another one. He gives the ball
to a bloke who's going to get tackled.
Right there. He didn't hold on to the ball long enough and let him break that line.
Yeah.
They're the little things that I keep talking about and harp on about.
McCreary swings it out wide to Elliott, centre wing. Kicks down to Josh Dacos, who marks. Right in front of the interchange gates. It's the hurry up from the umpire. And he'll put the ball right to the top of the attacking 50. And Long does well to use his body to take a chest mark.
He's a good kick too, Long. He's a long kick.
The goalie will get this. Oh, no. Nearly, he wanted it.
So Ned Long's got it. He'd have to kick from about 50 metres out. It's a tough angle.
Well, there's not many Collingwood people think he's not going to make it. They've got one anywhere near the 10-metre score, the goal line.
So there's 3 Eagles all floating down near the goal square. As Long takes his kick, it'll go across the face. It's a 1-on-3 here. The Eagles with the numbers. Lipinski the only pie, and it goes through. 4 behind. Collingwood ahead by 17 points. Ray on the boundary.
Yeah, Nick Dacos has just gone downstairs, doctor and trainer. He didn't look real happy. It might be a little bit of a test for the concussion.
Okay, thanks, Ray. I'll get you to keep us updated on all of that. The best player in the game, Nick Dacos, banged up, getting checked out earlier. The captain, Darcy Moore, out of the game. Another hamstring injury. Hasn't been able to get a run at it, so his 4th game of the year, hasn't completed one. And his 199th game ends prematurely with a hamstring in the first half. Ball up here. Pies able to trap it in their front half. Between wing and half forward. Hurried kick forward for Collingwood. Spills out of bounds. A kick from Jack Crisp. Out it goes. 40 metres out from the Pies goal. Ray?
Yeah, Jimby and Brereton, you were talking about the hair. They've also got some other interesting similarities. Haunting pectoral to pin ratio. Hauntingly.
Can you just describe that to the normal person, Ray?
Yeah, don't skip leg day.
So toss back in. It's Davis that wins it for the Eagles. Hand pass to Reid. Kicks right into the centre of the MCG. Champion runs onto it. His hand pass almost a turnover. It ricochets back to him. He can hand pass it out wide towards Murdoch, who just dances around before finally finding Baker. And he can clear it out to right half forward where Champion marks. Running up to the paint of 50. Just drops the kick. Won't result in an Eagles mark. It's the Pies who can get out of danger here. Steal side bottom to Frampton. Hand pass to DeGoey. And he'll just launch this kick right down the line. But it'll be a turnover as Jack Williams marks the Eagles.
He wants to come all the way out wide to Duggan. So 17 points, Collingwood's advantage. We are 8.5 minutes into this final term of the Pendlebury milestone game.
Yeah, I feel West Coast have got to throw a little bit of caution to the wind now. Start getting some speed on ball. Get the ball inside 50. Give the opportunities to the forwards instead of this chip backwards sort of stuff. They've got to score very shortly if they have any chance to win this game.
Duggan short to Davis. Back to Bazzo. Bazzo retreats back to Young. Switches on. Seagulls have arrived. Long kick out towards left half back for Jindy. Chips it short. Middle of the ground. Just got it to his intended target in Duggan, who marks and is off and running. Hacksaw Liam Duggan kicks inside 50. Turnover. Then Darcy Cameron takes the intercept mark. Centre half back for Collingwood. Pies by 17 points. Nick Dacos getting checked out downstairs. And Pies by 17. 9 gone. Final term.
No, I think there's someone else coming off as well. I think he's done an elbow or a shoulder.
That's young Will Hayes. So he's holding his left shoulder at the moment. He's got the trainer with him.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. It might have popped, perhaps.
Darcy Cameron's holding on to the footy in defensive 50, and the umpire will let play carry on.
Or AC joint, perhaps. Let's see how he's landed here.
Hayes is jogging off with the doctor on his left, helping him hold that arm steady. Goey has the footy in defensive 50 for the Pies. Chips out towards Steele. In the end, Schultz comes flying over. Can't get a hand to it, falls to ground, and will go over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in.
Maybe it's push everybody outside forward 50 and put Harley Reid at the top of the goal square on his own.
Yeah, I agree.
And try to get a one-on-one. Collingwood won't allow that. They'll get numbers back.
Well, what they'll do, they'll put Maynard have to go into him.
Yep.
And that means Maynard's man is then freed up.
Ball tossed in. Jack Williams takes it. Hoff taps it away to Dersma, who has the footy. Half forward for West Coast. We'll put them inside forward 50. Bounces off the top of Frampton's head. Down to Houston. Down to Pendlebury. Gets a quick hand pass away. Chris almost overruns it. Then he gets a little knock from Yo. Footy still in the hands of the Eagles. Davis takes it. Hand passes it across to Reid. Hand passes it away. It's a free kick to West Coast. And to Harley Reid, who got taken a little high. He chips it out wide to Davis, sees he's got some space to play on. He might go all the way here. Davis had a lot on the kick. He almost made the distance, but it falls just short. It's a minus.
He marked that football and didn't go.
Well, Reid didn't look inside the front 50. He had a target 20 metres in by himself inside front 50. He turned his back on it.
Gee, two Eagles collide in the air and Davis hits the deck hard. He's slow to get himself back up. The Eagles win the footy anyway. High half forward. McCarthy hand pass away towards Bazzo. Kicks deep inside 50. Off the pack. Spills to Cole. Handball away. Snap Collingwood. Oh, it's missed. Johnston jams it on the boot. Wrong side of the post. He got fed. And it just, in fact, clips the post on the way through. It's a minor score. And the Eagles, who are right there, just can't get that next goal. Collingwood by 15. Ray Chamberlain on the boundary. It's all happening your way.
It certainly is. And for the 93,000 fans here and anybody else who's listening on ABC Radio, Nick is back. He looks fine.
Good news.
And Scott Pendlebury brings it back in, as you would have heard from the cheer. And Jack Williams, though, will intercept the footy for the Eagles.
And he's lucky Mickey marked that because he did the body work early and the umpire was just about to play the free kick.
He puts the Eagles back inside forward 50 into the forward pocket. Schultz goes in after it. He might have been held without it. He was. And Lockie Schultz will win the free kick for the Pies. They're up by 15 points.
Getting their plays back well, Collingwood. Really well.
The Eagles have been pushing in the last few minutes as Schultz dumps the footy on his boot. McStay was around. Cameron was there. The ball spills to ground. Bo Allen takes it for the Eagles. Hand passes it to Jack Williams. His hand pass a turnover over as Darcy Cameron takes it. Kicks down the line and Jimby can collect.
Goes back to Duggan. West Coast with the footy. They've got a lot of possession here. Haven't been able to make it translate on the scoreboard. He gives it back to Lindsay, who butchers it, kicking across the half-back line. Lindsay just got it away to Marrick in the end, but had to collect it on the bounce. Kicks down the wing to Hoff.
Yeah, I might groan a bit, but that's the captain of the club, being the most experienced player.
Hoff running the gauntlet, handball to Marrick, got it back, tackled, just got a hand pass away, turns it over. Side bottom for Collingwood, sweeps a handball, middle of the G. Maynard has a fumble, they're sweating on him, got it away to Pendlebury, Pendlebury's hand pass, trying to get it back to side bottom unsuccessfully. The Eagles work it out, Reid extracts it to Johnston by hand, handball to Murdoch, now at half forward, handball to Shanahan, hand pass to Jack Williams, snaps outside of the right boot, Waterman free, handball to Yo bangs it through. They had to get it all the way to the line, almost like in rugby union. And he bangs it through from the goal line for a major. And now the Eagles have got it back to single digits. They walked it in. Collingwood 11-13, 79. West Coast with a bit of momentum, 10-10, 70. 9 points, Collingwood's lead, 14 gone final term. Nick Malthouse, Brent Harvey on ABC Sport.
Well called, Corby. That was well called because they overdid it, Mick. They overdid it by hand. They needed 6, 7, 8 times to beat the Pies. They finally got it on the goal line, like you mentioned, nearly a try. But they made it hard work. And that was because a couple of fundamental handballs didn't hit their targets. Exactly. They were looped in the air, gave the Collingwood players time to press against them. Shorter, sharper. But they scored a goal, and it's game back on right now, Mick. 9 points.
Well, I think too, Boomer, both the Eagle players had 2 in the goal line.
They did, yeah.
So somehow or another, one of the Collingwood players hadn't worked back hard enough.
Back in the middle, Reid takes it, slips over, recovers, and shoves it on his boot to get it to half forward, still side bottom.
Oh, who other? That was, again, like a rocket. That's a really good steadying mark.
Jumps in front, clunks the mark, and chips it out towards DeGoey at right half back for the Pies. Little chip forward to Lipinski. Playing it slowly now, Collingwood leading by 9 points in this final quarter. Lipinski will put it down the wing to a pack that'll form. Ginby has front position, juggles the mark 3 times, and eventually holds it as he's falling to the ground. But he takes it for the Eagles, and then he retreats. So just chips towards Bazzo, who wants to go backwards towards McCarthy.
So just in this final term, 71 disposals to 40 in the Eagles' way, Mick.
Yeah.
McCarthy's kick to Duggan as they switch it across to the broadcast side of the ground.
I think it's because they're doing a little bit of this. Well, they are. Mark going around the long way.
Married, chips it short. McCarthy just marks in front of Roan Steele.
They are doing that, Boomer, but they are controlling themselves. And Collingwood aren't really cutting them off before it gets into the front 50, and that's unusual for Collingwood. They normally like to take, if the ball's coming down, they like to stop it before it gets in the back 50 or front 50, whichever way you look at it.
McCarthy short to Dersma, long kick down to half forward. Shanahan leaping over the pack, no mark. Spills to Cole, hand pass to Kelly, just knocks it further afield. Side bottom collects, runs out of space, out of play, throw in half forward for the Eagles. Glass half full for the Eagles. They kicked the last 4 goals last week to come from behind and beat the Giants over in Perth. Glass half empty, 6-day break with travel. So...
yeah, it's today's football. And don't forget the Eagles have done it for 30-odd years, so it's not as if this is new.
Flicks back in, Dacos takes it, shoves it on his boot. Bit of Jimby that cleans it up, takes it, and evades a would-be tackle up. Hand passes backwards to Bazzo, who puts it down to half forward. Waterman.
That's a good mark.
At the drop, will mark.
That is a really good, strong mark. He looked at the target, and he looked at his man, drops, put his body right in front of him.
Jake Waterman will pop this to a hot spot inside forward 50 for the Eagles. A mark will be taken. Shanahan's got it. And Shanahan will line up from very close to goal to bring the Eagles back within a kick.
So that's their 12th inside 50 for the quarter. The Eagles.
5 to 5.
To 5 to the Pies. Denying them of the football, as I mentioned, the disposals this quarter, 80 to 41 in the Eagles' way.
Well, that's comprehensive. That's double. Rarely you see that. Rarely do you see that.
Job Shanahan on his approach. The rising star in the Eagles forward line. Makes no mistake. And the Eagles are out to ruin the party of Scott Pendlebury, and they're edging closer. They trail Collingwood by 3 points 17 minutes into this final term. It's the Eagles 11-10-76. It's Collingwood 11-13-79. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Boomer, that kick in there, if it wasn't marked by him, Big Williams was down there as well. This is where Darcy Moore has really missed, because one of the things that Darcy can do is get a big jump and have a smash it. He might trail players in, but when that ball sits in the air, he's all over it. So Williams almost took that mark in front of the pack.
So that's a slow build-up, Mick. We've seen Waterman take a really one-on-one strong mark in front of Frampton. He goes long, and then we see Shanahan take a fantastic mark. So well done to the Eagles, winning their 50-50 contest. A little bit stronger in the air at the minute.
The other team in your favourite sports movie is making a move. They're within 3 points, the West Coast Eagles. Back in the middle, Hoff tackled by Crisp. Ball up middle of the G. And the Pies trying to go up a notch here to get a victory in Pendle's milestone game. 3 points Collingwood's lead. They've led all of the second half. Ed Allen extracts it at the restart. Kicks inside 50. Elliott trying to turn his opponent inside out. The ball beats he and Young to the boundary line, and a throw-in. Full time in Geelong, by the way. Geelong 15-17-107. They beat Sydney 12-8-80. So 27 points the final margin. The Cats over the Swans. Here it's a 3-point lead for Collingwood, but the Eagles have kicked 5 of the last 6.
Pies hanging on. McStay takes it out himself from the throw-in, and he scores. He has the quickest reply. And the MCG erupts as well. Dan McStay kicks 2 and perhaps steadies things a little for Collingwood. Down to 3 on the bench. They're leading by 9. 12-13-85 Collingwood. West Coast 11-10-76. 19 minutes played in the final term.
Well, it's a good goal in the end, Mick. It was against your man, Bailey Williams.
Yeah, it was too. That's what I was thinking. If he did it, he's going to do it against the young Williams, but he actually moved Bailey Williams right out of the way.
It was a beautiful finish.
Yeah.
We just spoke about Nick Dacos kicking a packed goal off 1 or 2 steps. He did exactly the same then from the ruck work. Well done, McStay. Very, very important time of this game.
Massive goal. Back to 9 points. Bailey Williams pumps it down to Kelly. Handball to Reid. Reid tucks it under his arm, bursts away, kicks wide and finds Cole. Cole against the boundary line, 55 metres out. We're in crunch time already. 9-point game. Kicks to full forward. Pack flies. No mark. Spills down. Big tackle. Yo locks up Crisp, and a ball up full forward for the Eagles.
I think it's either to have Yo or Reid in the forward line. really puts the pressure on.
Bailey Williams palms it down, but Steele for the Magpies. Away towards Frampton. Handball to Steele's side bottom, who kicks to half-back. Davis intercepts, knocks it down to Champion. Handball away to Baker. Baker sweeps a handball into the pocket. Up against the boundary line. Johnston, centering kick. Oh, it's spilt by Shanahan. There's a free kick before all of that. And it saves Shanahan some blushes. He spills the mark. And Quaynor's getting a free. He was being held in the marking contest. Fullback for Collingwood. 9-point lead for the Magpies. We're now in time on in the last.
Quaynor clears it out. He was looking for Long. Brings it to ground. Hand pass comes out from Schultz. Across to Ed Allen. Hand passes back to Lipinski. He goes back to Allen of the Pies. Gets tackled, held onto. Has to get rid of the footy quickly. It'll be Cully that runs onto it for the Eagles. He takes the tackle from Crisp. And the umpire will toss the ball up. So right in front of the West Coast Eagles bench. It's the visiting side trailing by 9 points. Cameron just takes it out of the ruck himself. And he's held up by Bailey Williams. And we'll have another stoppage.
I think Williams has to ruck. Bailey Williams has to ruck for the rest of this quarter.
Darcy Cameron taps it away, and then Bailey Williams just disposes of him, throws him to the ground.
Yeah, he's made two.
Bizarre.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, well, the ruck one.
Some kind of bizarro situation happening on the Eagles bench where I don't know if they're out of interchange rotations. Bazzo coming off to get tended to for a blood rule, and he was told he wasn't allowed to come off the ground momentarily as Darcy Cameron kicks into the forward pocket. And in the end, it's punched out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. Ray Chamberlain, you're down there inspecting. What on earth was happening there?
Fourth, and just a bit of confusion as to who they wanted on, I think.
Right. It was a big tackle that you called it, Mick. The Bazzo one on Ed Allen. Boundary throw in forward 50 for the Pies. McStay knocks it down to Harley Reid, and Ed Allen holds him up. 9-point lead for the Pies. 22 gone, final term. And the Pendlebury milestone night. And they get him a win at the finish. The Eagles out to spoil the party. And from the ball up, we got another one 3 metres away. So still inside the forward 50 for the Pies. Left half forward, 45 metres out from their goal.
Bailey Williams' little tap goes straight to Lipinski. Hand passes it to Josh Dacos. Overruns it, can pick it up. Hand pass to Lipinski. Hand pass to Elliott, 52 metres out from goal. Gets it to Schultz. He might deserve a free kick. He hand passes it to Nick Dacos, who plays on. And surely that's the winner that allows this crowd to celebrate. Nick Dacos has 3. And the crowd erupts. The cheer squad at the city end waves their flags. And all those in black and white are starting to sense that they might be able to celebrate game 433 of Scott Pendlebury with the 4 points.
That was just a, you know what? This game's in the balance. I got you. I've got you. That was... Indeed, he's a good player. Hasn't had much. I'm not. What's his possessions? I'm when I say haven't had much for him.
He's now kicked the 3.
That's
so
the big part of it.
33 and 3 goals too.
Okay.
With 14 score involvements. But as you said, it's not impactful like we're used to.
I haven't seen. I thought, gee, he's ripped this game apart. Other than his goals.
And yet it's a stat line that reads
phenomenal.
Good an afternoon you could hope for. Pendlebury out of the middle. Handball away towards Tagoe. Kicks inside 50. Elliott. Awkward landing as he came back down.
Really bad landing.
He's hyperextended his left knee on the way down. He's immediately clutching at it.
Straight away.
So this is going to take some of the gloss off it immediately as Collingwood had a real pep in their step. Elliott grabs at his left knee.
It was straight leg. I hate when they land straight leg because you know the pressure that goes right through that leg ends up taking the easier choice route, which is the knee.
It's the same spot on the ground, and they immediately call for the stretcher. It's the same spot on the ground where he kicked that goal after the bell to beat Essendon. And every Collingwood fan, as they were that day, standing behind him right in the kick home. They're standing for all the wrong reasons now in the rows in front, and now there's a melee, and the umpires are powerless to stop this.
I just want to... I hope I'm wrong, but as he hit the ground, the knee marginally went inside.
Yes,
and
you're right.
When that...
This is really dangerous here, Nick. So there's a melee, and they're getting very close to where the injured player is lying on the ground in Jamie Elliott. And the umpires can't restart play to stop the melee.
I just hope that West Coast, they're a young side, hope they have respect for a player that's on the ground You move away from that. You get well away, and Collingwood players should be together. West Coast players should be together.
The cart had to come to a full stop then because...
Yeah, it's stupid.
The cart literally stopped because it was going to hit players.
The umpires have done a great job here. They're doing their very best to try and shepherd the injured player. And Jamie Elliott, who's just taken a mark at left half forward, it appears to have hyperextended his left knee upon landing. And then a melee's broken out between the two teams. And only now they're separated from one another. But they were almost had to stampede onto Elliott, who's got the trainers around him at left half forward. Game is paused. 25 and a half gone in the final term. Collingwood by 15. West Coast have been so plucky. They got within 3 points after the Shanahan goal. The Pies have kicked the last two just to steady things up, including a spectacular running goal from Nick Dacos. Received in the pocket, arced back inboard, hooked it through to ensure that Collingwood would be celebrating a win. And some of the glosses coming off it here. Darcy Moore's done a hammy, suspected shoulder/collarbone for Will Hayes. Both out of the game, and now Elliott's been stretchered off with a left knee injury.
They all got together, Collingwood players all got together, and there's one speaker, Scotty Pendlebury.
He had them there for a good 30, 40 seconds there.
Yes, he did.
Before Braden Maynard came in and said a few words, but most of it was Scott Pendlebury talking to the team.
Unfortunately, and again, Mick, no doctor, you're right around the landing part of it where the knee came inside.
Inside. Once you move inside.
And it doesn't. And he grabbed straight away. Grabbed straight away.
Yeah. I've seen so many. Sometimes when you come down like that and it does hyperextend, you squeeze the hell out of your fat pad in the front and you have bones hit each other, you get bone bruising. When there's that slight movement, you hate that because you just know that the ligament has been really stressed. Really stressed.
So your fear, Mick?
Oh, my fear is ACL. Only because we watched it again as he hits the ground and the knee moves slightly inside. Not good signs.
That's awful. So Jamie Elliott makes his way off. He's played 206 games with Scott Pendlebury in his 230-game career. And before he gets the chance to celebrate, he's been stretched off in the last 4.5 minutes. So Lachie Schultz is going to take the free. And the Medicab was called for almost immediately upon assessment from the trainers that got to him. And every Collingwood player runs over to give him a tap on the way out. 33 years of age. He's coming off a career year. Last year he was in the broader squad in the All-Australian team.
Yeah, Jake Waterman said something to him too, which is that's really good. As a fellow player, if it's a knee like with maybe it could be 12 months. At his age, you go, it's not a good time.
Darcy Moore looks like he's seen a ghost on the Magpies bench. He looks horrified as he's watching the stretcher and the Medicab make its way off the ground.
And Corbin, the reason why the melee broke out was, I think it was Scotty Pendlebury went over and actually said to the West Coast player,
right,
the little shove. There was a tiny, tiny little shove, and I don't think there was any malice in it by any stretch of imagination, but I think he said something, and because he's only a young fellow himself, the other Eagles players come over and remonstrated as well.
Well, it's no one's fault that the injury took place. No, it's just an awkward landing. So no one got pushed or hit after the ball or anything like that. So there's no reason for it.
The fans in the block beneath us, right behind Lachie Schultz, they're all on their feet here, and the 90+ thousand, all in black and white. Schultz on his way in. The drop punt from the tight angle fades through for a behind.
Looked good off the boot from there, Corbin.
It didn't it? Would have been the ultimate homage to Jamie Elliott had he knocked it through from out there. A behind Collingwood by 16, 29 gone, final term.
McCarthy wants to move this on quickly from the kick in for the Eagles. Sidebottom picks it up though. Hand passes to Lipinski. Hand pass to Maynard. Mowed down by Waterman. Umpire says play on. It's taken and moved away by the Eagles as it's grabbed by Hoff. Hand pass to Dersma. He'll kick inside forward 50. It'll be a mark to the Eagles and to Job Shanahan.
Great kick by Dersma. He pulled that kick. It looked like he was going really long. The Collingwood player who had back shoulder went goal side and he pulled the kick. It was an amazing kick.
He made the player come to the ball, as you said, Boomer.
Knows he doesn't have too much time here, Job Shanahan.
Still kick a goal. If it means 30 seconds, still kick the goal.
From 48 metres out, the kick is straight. And it's there. It's 2 in the quarter to Job Shanahan. And the Eagles are still in it. The margin cut back to that number we've been seeing all day, 10. Collingwood leading by 10 points. 30 minutes ticked over in this final term. The Pies are 13-14-92. The Eagles 12-10-82.
Really good build-up as well. Forward hands, which we're seeing a lot in today's game. And again, spoke about that Dersma kick. Just pulled the kick really well. Mick put it into a space where he said to the player, you go and get that now. Yeah. That's a great kick. From a young guy, great composure.
He's been likened to, and I've got to say, I didn't believe it initially, but more and more you watch this kid, is a player like the Bont. You know, a bit of a loper, but beautifully balanced. Beautifully balanced.
3 minutes to go. The Eagles close enough, if good enough. And there's going to be a free kick here. It's going to Bailey Williams for a ruck infringement. So Bailey Williams will get it middle of the G. It means the Eagles are going forward down 10. 31 played in the last. Williams kicks straight up the pipe. Shanahan crashes the pack. No mark. Spills to Howe. Handballs a turnover. Picked up by Baker. Lipinski's got him. Tackled. Holding the ball. And a free kick for the Magpies and Lipinski to take it. And it's going to come back to centre half back.
No, I think
Crowd posted, by the way, 90,028. So 90,028 is the final attendance.
That's a massive crowd, isn't it? Oh. It's testament to when this game would have been 40,000 had it not been the record, honestly.
Lipinski out to half-back. Jimby in the pack. Spills down towards De Goey. He's crunched by Jimby. Ball up between wing and half-forward.
He's a good player, Jimby. I know they got him as a tall mid.
Yeah. He just attacks the ball.
High half-forward for the Eagles. 70 metres out from their goal. Down 10. Final 3 minutes.
Tossed up. Chris takes it away. Hand passes it to Schultz. A little hand pass he sends. Will end in a stoppage. As Dersma ends up doing the tackling on West. And there'll be a ball up at centre wing. Flicked up. Bailey Williams gets a little tap out, then Dersma takes it. It's knocked out of his hands by De Goey. Allows it to get to Schultz, who powers this kick on his boot. Gets as much distance as he can. Inside forward 50. Bounces out of bounds. Throw in.
West Coast players want deliberate. It's gone 78 metres.
Yeah.
And it's inside the arc. So well played in the end for Schultz to get a ball in inside forward 50 for the Pies.
Yeah, inches are valuable.
They're up by 10 points late in this match against the Eagles. Bailey Williams taps it down to Duggan. He's taken in a tackle by Schultz and McStay. There'll be another ball up inside forward 50 for the Pies. Up by 10.
Sorry, can I just say for our listeners, you should see Scott Pendlebury at the moment. He is directing the traffic like he's a policeman. Unbelievable.
Hasn't been a huge day for him personally, but he gives them so much out there as the clearing kick from Bailey Williams marked by Darcy Cameron, his opposing ruckman.
He'll get this. Yep, there it is.
He gives it off by hand to Scott Pendlebury. And his record-breaking afternoon, his 19th disposal, just his 7th kick. He goes back to Howe, who takes the mark, and a short kick away to Maynard. Attendance posted on the big screen. We're inside the final 2 minutes. Collingwood by, you guessed it, 10 points, the margin. And the golden number 10 on the back of Scott Pendlebury. Contest kick down the wing. Punched away into the path of Yo. Yo tackled, dispossessed, got it out to Hoff. Eagles are going to go. Jinby, hand pass away to McCarthy, back edge of the centre square.
Thumps it on his boot. It won't go very far, although Howe in the end can't take the mark. Cole comes in, bashes it away from him, but it is the Pies will emerge. Quaynor to Pendlebury, back to Quaynor, back to Maynard. Still in defensive 50, chips it out towards Crisp, who holds on to it. Left half back for the Pies, then gets told to play on. Hand pass to Quaynor. He'll just thump it on his boot. A spiralling kick right to centre wing. It will be a mark to Young, not quite. He couldn't hold on to it. Cameron on his hands and knees. Can hand pass it across to Schultz. Hand passes it to McCreary. He puts it in the path of McStay. Left half forward, all alone, mowed down by Duggan. Free kick to the Eagles.
Eagles are going to go. Handball away towards Baker. He's co-captain to Marrick. Back to Baker, to Kelly. Free kick's coming back to Baker. He was dealt with after getting rid of it. Tick, 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 tick. As the seconds come off the clock, it's going to be a free for Kelly after all that for downfield. Down to 20 seconds left in the game. 10-point match. Kick from Kelly out to half forward. Quaynor knocks it away. Down to Cole. Hits it back in the other direction to side bottom to Quaynor, to Nick Dacos, all by hand. To Houston, to Darcy Cameron. Handball to Chris. Goes back to Quaynor. They're in the phone booth. They work it out. Sweeping hand pass down the wing. Kind bounce for Schultz.
10 points.
10 points.
And how about it? The magic golden number 10 as the game's greatest ever servant, the gold standard of longevity. Scott Pendlebury celebrates his milestone with a 10-point win. It's cosmically perfect. Collingwood by 10 points.
See the barricades are shouting as all barricades should. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
All the talk about the gold number 10 for the now outright games record holder Scott Pendlebury. Game 433. 4 plus 3 plus 3 is 10. The final margin's 10. The day's all about him. And Scott Pendlebury gets to celebrate his big day at the G. West Coast by 2 at quarter time. Collingwood by 10 at the half. By 11 at three-quarter time. And how fitting. Collingwood by 10 in the finish.
Good old Collingwood forever. They know how to play the game. Side by side they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barricades are shouting as all barricades should. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
They gave it a good crack, the West Coast Eagles. Wallach Marilla for Sir Doug Nicholls round. Collingwood's goal kickers, 3 for Jamie Elliott, 3 for Nick Dacos, 2 for McStay and 2 for Roan Steele. Singles for Lipinski, Schultz and Ed Allen. Meanwhile for West Coast, 3 for Elliott Yeo, 2 for Shanahan and 2 for Champion. Singles for Waterman, for Hoff, for Johnston, Bailey Williams and Milan Murdoch. So Collingwood by 10 in front of over 90,000. It was a win that came at a cost, it must be said. Looks like a catastrophic knee injury for Jamie Elliott in the final quarter with an awkward landing where he straight-legged it on the way down with his left knee buckling underneath him. He was stretched off the ground with 5 minutes to go. Darcy Moore didn't make it out of the first half with another soft tissue injury. He did his hammy. And Will Hayes also with a collarbone concern for Collingwood. Here's Mark Howard with the milestone man, Scott Pendlebury.